It's Wednesday night, and that means it's time for the Lamar Thomas Show, featuring the greatest receiver in the history of college football. Just ask them, Lamar Thomas.
I was born in Ocala, Florida. I moved to Gainesville to go to high school. Been recruited probably since the 9th grade, illegally, I might add, by the University of Florida. I still can remember Coach Solinger, Don Solinger, coming out to our practice one day. Here it is, this guy comes out in the University of Miami jacket, and I said, I can't believe that's Miami out here. And, you know, I wanted to go up and say, hey, I'm Lamar Thomas. And actually, I did walk up to him and I said, hey, Coach, I'm Lamar Thomas. And he said, I know. And that was the start of my relationship with the University of Miami.
Having another good block, and Toretto lays it out. Touchdown, Miami.
You come down here, you'll be on TV every weekend, dominating. I thought about it. I said, man, where do I sign? My mom, on Saturday mornings, I would wake up and she'd be holding my hand. I thought she was the weirdest lady in the world. But she was holding my hands and she would be rubbing them and saying, one day these hands are gonna make you a lot of money. She was smart.
So now, here he is, the great one, along with co-host Gary Ferman of CaneSport.com, Lamar Thomas.
Gary.
There it is. I don't know why we had a delay.
I'm fired up. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
So LP in the building Wednesday night, the Lamar Thomas Show, and
right.
Lamar, you're at Boat Campers in Plantation this week again, huh?
Yeah. Well, we won last week. You know, I'm superstitious like that. I did change my draws though. You know, when I was playing, I kind of wore the same draws for a long time because you know they worked. They had holes in them, but they worked. But I'm superstitious, so I'm in the same spot, same booth. Got my man OJ McDuffie back there somewhere, my teammate. So I'm just enjoying this whole ambiance of the Boat Campers. How about that?
So Lamar, we got a Thursday night game this week, Miami, Virginia, under the lights, Hard Rock Stadium, and a big ball game, obviously, for Manny Diaz, for the Miami Hurricanes. 4 straight losses to Power 5 competition.
Yeah,
a streak that must be broken tomorrow night. In your words, tell us how big of a game this is for Miami.
I mean, it's very big for the University of Miami and this program. You know, Manny, it's a huge game. That coaching staff, those kids, because we all know that the Coastal is it's in for the taking. You know, that conference, that side of the conference is. This is where it's what's supposed to be. Miami was supposed to be dominant, and those teams were not supposed to be that good, and we were supposed to run through it. They have an opportunity. We just have to do our part, the University of Miami, because it's a down year. And there's some teams that are stepping up, but this is a great opportunity for the University of Miami, Manny Diaz in particular, and Blake James. To win a ball game because it's needed. If you don't win this game, it's going to be very hard on you the next couple of weeks.
All right, so 69-0 over what was the name of that school again, Lamar? Connecticut.
Connecticut Central State Yeah, I got it right. Did I get it right? Oh, Central Connecticut.
I think it was
State.
Central Connecticut State.
One of the two. I mean, let's just be honest. And I was thinking about this. It's a great win. Don't get me wrong. It's a great win because you got to win. And it's what they needed because we got to see a lot of young guys play, and they played well. But let me make sure I phrase this right. Hell, you could have played Florida Memorial, gave them the money. You know what I mean? This is a team that was definitely overmatched. And, I mean, you were playing Florida A&M Bethune-Cookman. You were giving them that money, and you pick a team way up, who knows where. These guys, they were maybe 30, 40 deep. I think they were like 40 players. They had more people in the stands, how about that, than they had on the sideline. And you could tell by the second quarter, they were done. So, Miami, come on, man. If you're going to give that type of money away for an ass beating like that,
$650,000.
Give it to Florida Memorial, okay? They
idea.
deserve it. Give it to freaking St. Thomas. You know, all these starter programs around the way. Give it to them. Don't go freaking Central Connecticut State. I mean, I'm happy about the win, but come on, man. Give it to the programs that need it more. These programs around the way that'll it'll help those programs out because that's a lot of money for those programs. And to take the ass whipping like they took, that team was very overmatched. But I'm happy that it was a win because it could have been worse. Now, the last time we saw a state team like that play, overmatched team was Jacksonville State against Florida State, and we know what happened.
I think Jacksonville State would beat this team 69-0. I don't think this team makes it out of Dade and Broward County, Lamar, in high school ball.
No, there are a lot of teams in Dade County that could beat them. Congrats to matter of fact, speaking of high school, congrats to Luke, Uncle Luke. Edison beat Booker T. First time they beat them in a long time, and I give a shout out to my homeboy, Uncle Luke. Good win. Now Edison probably could have played with Central Connecticut State. It would have been a good game. You know, it would have been a good game.
I really believe that. I was watching those guys. I'm like, certainly American Heritage, St. Thomas would annihilate those guys.
Yeah. Some of the better teams might beat the hell out of them. But again, it was a win, Gary.
It's all we had last week. So
yes, it
here's
was.
my question. Tyler Van Dyke, Jake Garcia, looked very comfortable out there. That's a positive.
Yes, it was.
Almost every playmaker on the roster on offense got a chance to bust out. We saw running backs Cody Brown, Thaddeus Franklin do some great things. Receivers, Romello Brinson and those guys got off. So you've been a coach. You've been in garbage games before as both a player and a coach, really.
Hold on. Wait. I got to think about that as a coach now. Not too many teams with garbage like that. You don't have too many givings like that. That was a total giving. But as a player, yes, there was a Long Beach State. There was a Long Beach State. Huh?
Do you take anything out of there?
I mean, it gave a lot of young guys an opportunity to play. I personally caught my one pass to keep my streak going, and I pulled myself out. And I told Chad, like I said last week, I'm not playing in this game because pro scouts aren't watching this shit. Okay? I'm out. I caught my one catch. That's all I wanted. You don't really get too much out of it except for you give your team a chance to play the younger guys. They get experience. You get to see a lot about them in the stadium, and that's about all. Other than that, the veterans don't really get too much. And actually, during that week, you're actually preparing for the next game. You're preparing for the next. You're putting a little bit of time in the Long Beach State or Central Connecticut State, as you say, but for the most part, you're getting ready for the next game. So they've been prepared for Virginia
for more than a week. All right, Let me bring in the third member of our team here, the voice of the fan, Bruce Warner. And Bruce, did you take anything away from that game on Saturday night?
Yeah, I want to ask Lamar this. I saw Romello Brinson make that incredible catch. And we've had Pope and Wiggins here for years, and they can't even come close to fighting for the damn ball, let alone making a play like that. How do you look at those guys and say, what have they learned in the last 4 years? That guy Brinson's got, he's good. He's real.
Well, I tell you this as a young receiver, in the room with a lot of veterans and you get to make a play like that, I think that it adds some fire to those guys. You know, I remember myself being in the room with all those veterans, you know, the Andre Browns and the Dale Dawkins and Wesley Carrolls and all those guys, and wanted to show them that I belonged. And, you know, when you make a catch like that, it don't matter, you know, obviously you're in college, obviously you won against better competition, but you still made the play. That's still a hell of a catch. I don't care who was out there. It was a hell of a catch. And to see those three amigos as they were doing a dance on the sideline, shine like that, it only, you know, now I sound like Manny with the whole political thing. As far as it gives you more time, and your fans, you say to yourself, man, we're going to be good in time. So it was good to see, though. It was really good to see, and it was what we really needed. I mean, they were on the schedule. We did some things that were really good. We dominated, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Right, but if he was being covered by Deion Sanders, that he still made that catch.
Yeah.
And then if you look at Rashard Smith, he takes a little 5-yard little dump and takes it to the house for 75 yards. And there's a lot of skill and talent on this team. And if it's not the juniors to see, who cares? Look at these guys.
Well, we're hoping. I mean, as fans like yourself, we're hoping that those guys will get an opportunity to maybe play in the bigger games. So we'll see about this Virginia game. We'll see how they do the rotation. I'll be watching that because I want to see all those young guys that were able to get an opportunity, if it lit a fire under the guys in front of them, and if those guys are going to be able to overtake those veterans and make more plays.
Well, I don't know if they're going to overtake, but they're going to play a lot tomorrow night. Now, I'm worried about tomorrow night because obviously Virginia had one more day to get ready, which is not a big deal, but they do. And their coach was pretty adamant about how badly they played, and the attention to detail was so poor, which is something that we talk about every week on this show, about the attention to detail and preparation or lack thereof. So when are you getting food? Look at his eyes. Look how happy he is.
You want to come in here and say hello, say hello. Say hello.
Hi guys, how are
Young
you?
lady saying hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
She's
Have
a
a
bartender.
wonderful
Thank you. Well, I had to let out all the fans, you know, when they come around and say hello.
Okay. Well, we'll stop. Whenever you're busy, we'll just stop and let you have it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought, but go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, my point is that they're going to be ready tomorrow. Will Miami be ready tomorrow? Because if they lose tomorrow, that's a real problem.
I want to circle back to that Romello play for a second because I got a story for you guys. Mike Harley was obviously on the bench at the time, and he was sitting there smack talking the cornerback for Central Connecticut State before the snap, and he knew the ball was going to Romello. And he's sitting there telling, we're coming right at you. We're coming right at you. And he's sitting there on the side. We're coming at Romello, your money. Romello, your money. And Harley said he never took his eyes off of Romello the whole play. Knew the ball was going there. Knew Romello was going to catch it. And Harley didn't even wait for the ball to get caught. He was taking off down the sideline.
Oh, he was the first one down there celebrating.
He was celebrating down there, Romello before the ball was even caught. And those are the kind of things you can get away with when you got home officials against Central Connecticut.
Well, I mean, other than jumping,
that wasn't bad coverage, Lamar, was it? He was right.
No, it was great coverage. I was about to say you can get away with a lot of things other than jumping in the stands.
Right.
Here's the catch right here, man. Look at that. Man, I had to send the receiver coach Rob Likens a text message and say, man, I see what you're teaching, dog. I see what you're teaching. Yeah.
Now, Bruce. Tell me the truth. When you look at that picture and you look at the skinny legs, you look at the skinny arms, you look at the tall, lanky frame, what does that remind you of?
Well,
horoscoping.
Number 36, if I recall correctly. The only difference is this guy didn't take his helmet off. But other than that,
look, this was a little bit of a different angle. but tell me, look at the legs, look at the arms, look at the vertical.
Gary, how much work did you put into this?
My God.
I mean, it's a little different angle, a little different play, but it's almost an identical shot. These two, like,
was that Nebraska?
Nebraska.
Yeah. That's where the helmet came off, right? He took the helmet right into the end zone
for about 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes.
Should have been a penalty. That's called home cooking. But the guy attacked the ball.
and that's what it's about. You know, Romello attacked the ball. He made the catch. Guy was pulling him down. He made the catch, but he reacted first. I've always said, and I've tried to teach young receivers this: if you react first, you have an advantage. You know, even telling my son this, you know, you react first. You attack the football, and good things will happen. Something for those guys, you're attacking the ball first. You're giving yourself an opportunity to make that catch. You're giving them a chance to get a pass interference. So, I mean, if he didn't make that catch, thank you. If he didn't make that catch,
just put up a sign. Leave me alone.
Getting a little food here and everything.
Okay.
If he doesn't make that catch, he probably gets a pass interference. That's the way it is, and that's good coaching. Rob Likens is doing a good job over there. Actually, a great job with he has some good players. I think he's trying to figure it out. Even talking to him this summer, he was trying to figure out how he was going to play these guys and how he's going to figure it out. He knew he had talent, and so I think now he's trying to figure it out. And they do have a lot of talent. It's just you have veterans and you have freshmen.
This is
now, how much time do you give the freshmen over the veterans?
I think Brinson made that catch last year too. I'm not sure how much Likens did for this kid. This kid looks like he knows how to play football.
Hey, I'm always side with
Lamar's always taking care of the coach, man.
I'm taking care of the coach. Catches like that without being coached up. You know, you could jump.
But they did their part. They taught me a little bit, I think.
LT, I know the similarities. Do you ever watch a kid like Romello Brinson and think back to your career and say, wow, man, that kid reminds me of what I looked like when I was younger, or you know, he's off to a great career like I would have been as a freshman or anything? Because I look at that kid and the way he's built and the way he's running around out there, and it reminds me of a young Lamar Thomas.
You know, I didn't really know myself that well, you know, the young Lamar Thomas. I was just hungry, you know. I was just trying to impress. I was just trying to make plays. You know, I watch some of these kids, and like a Romello, I look at him, I go, man, he's probably more physically gifted than I was, and probably faster. You know, these kids now go through this intense training. You know, they have all these training gurus, and you know, I was kind of self-taught. You know, so it's kind of fun to watch these guys, and when people compare, I go, man, that guy's gonna be way better than me because he's already better than me, you know. But it's fun to hear. But a guy like him, man, the sky's the limit, and they've been talking about him for months and years. So it's good to see him out there making a play like that where all the fans can see it.
All right, so the fans are watching all these young kids making plays all over the field, Lamar.
Right.
And you know, it's a natural reaction to say, man, he needs to put all the veterans aside and let's have a youth movement at the University of Miami and let all these young kids play, and you know, let's get rid of the old. Now, again, I want you to put your coaching hat on. I've been around this game long enough. I understand, you know, how this works, and you know, the coach typically is going to go with the guy that's been out there that he feels more comfortable, knows what he's doing. And there's one thing for these young kids to be lighting it up against Central Connecticut State, where technique doesn't matter, assignments don't really matter, you know, gap integrity doesn't matter. But when you get into a real football game, like they'll probably be in tomorrow night at Hard Rock, everything matters. Give us your viewpoint, I guess, as both a player and a coach, just on playing young guys and how you figure out when they're ready for the bigger moments.
Well, what you try to do with young guys, you try to give them things they feel comfortable doing out there, and they know. Because the one thing you don't want to get them in a bad situation where they don't know, and the head coach is looking at you like, what the hell? So you try to give them a limited number of plays, and you let them continue to build on that, and you test them weekly. And you want, because the whole thing, I used to take young guys aside, and I would give them tests. And the whole thing about giving them tests, you want to see if you can trust them. if they know what they're doing out there. If they got it on paper, then that gives you a little bit more confidence to put them in the game. If they don't have it on paper, you're a little worried because you don't want to put a guy in there and only run him on the fade route, because then the other team is going to scout that and say, hey, he's running fade. That's all he knows. That's the only thing he can do. So you want him to try to learn the offense, and you want to try to trust him, and you want to tell them, hey, man, I'm starting to trust you a little bit more, so you're going to get more and more playing time. And what I used to do, and even as a player for myself, I had a lot of running plays my redshirt freshman year, and I blocked. And I went balls out blocking, and I got lucky a couple of times where they had to change the play and audible because they were in an all-out blitz, and that's how I got my first touchdown against San Jose State, because I kept getting more confidence. The coach knew I was going to go in there and do my job and wasn't going to complain about the blocking assignment. And, that's how I started getting playing time. And for some of these younger guys, you got to build trust in you. Your coach has to trust you, because, again, you're not going to put your livelihood on the line for an 18-year-old that doesn't know shit. You got to put him out there. Bobby Petrino said the best when, I wanted to put a walk-on in the game. He said, you're gonna put your livelihood on the line, your wife, your kid on the line for a walk-on who we're not even invested in. Put him in there. Your ass will be fired. So I said, no, bro, stand on the sideline. So that's how it is. You gotta have trust in these kids, and it gives them. You're hoping along the way they learn from it. In life, you got to be able to be trusted by your boss. So wherever you go, whatever road you go down, your boss has to trust you. You got to learn. You have to take the time to put the time in. It's not as easy as, hey, we just put you out there, we throw you a fade every time. Nope. You got to learn the offense, and that's part of growing up.
Yeah, LT. So you mentioned it before. You got Smith and Brinson and George, young kids, but blocking. If they can't block. And it's going to be tough for them to get in there because our bubble screens are horrible. So, you said blocking, and there's one aspect of our game which is atrocious. And I don't think the kids are in there for that. It's the veterans, and they're still not. What's going on with those bubble screens that we just you can't do anything?
Other teams know that they're going to run them, and they're just blowing up the point. And that's the most point. If you blow up the point on a bubble screen, then everything's going to go to shit. That's the way it is. If you blow up that lead blocker, that guy that's blocking, myself personally, when I was at Kentucky, Eddie Grand, we ran a lot of bubble screens. And I hated coaching that shit because as a player, we didn't run it. We didn't do it. And so to get those guys to block those guys, and now the guy that was catching the ball, obviously he was happy as shit. But the guys that had to block, they weren't too enthusiastic about it. So it's especially when you're playing teams like Alabama that's going to show you the blueprint on how to blow it up from the inside out. A lot of teams, because everybody runs it in a hurry-up offense, they know how to stop it. And it's blowing up the lead blocker, blowing up the point guy.
Michigan State did it to us. They blew it.
Yes. Yeah. It's just a part of the offense. And, now if it's not working, you got to figure something out. You got to figure something out.
If I'm our offensive coordinator, I'd put those guys out there and go to the other side. You could get the snap and look over there and then go to the other side because you know what they're going to do. So I would try to come up with something like that. I think it's very doable.
Well, I would try the fake bubble screen personally.
Right, yeah.
Where you're faking like you're going to run a bubble screen and you go out for a pass. Now it puts those defenders in a big disadvantage because they're trying to blow you up and the ball is not even out of the quarterback's hand yet. So that's what I would do. I would do a little bit of that to keep them honest so they won't blow you up all the time and try to blow up your lead blocker.
So as far as the counting on these guys, we've seen Wiggins last week. Whoops. We saw Mallory do the same thing. What's with him? Why? I don't know whether he's pressing. Maybe Gary said, I don't know, but
I think he's pressing.
There's something wrong. And here's another one of these guys. I've got a list here of all these guys. I don't want to be that negative about it, but these guys that were better when they were younger than they are now.
But they got an extra year because of COVID.
Yeah, well, it's not doing him any good. He didn't help him. He dropped a touchdown the other day.
Hey, one more quick thing I wanted to note on the younger guys before we put that to bed. We do a blog at CaneSport.com with another LT, Leonard Taylor, and he was so candid this week. You know, a 5-star defensive lineman. Everybody thinks that he's going to walk into the building and be a starter from day one coming out of high school, and that's just not reality. And you know, he was telling us about his struggles learning the plays and knowing what he's supposed to do. And you know, in the meantime, he's got everybody in the community saying he should be playing, and he's sitting there struggling to learn the playbook. And it just you get a lot of forces, Lamar, that just conflict with each other.
Man, you know, the fact that he said that's real. That's real.
He was real.
I mean,
you got to give him credit for being so honest about
freshman, it's hard, man. It is not what high school was easy. High school was basic.
Yeah.
In some of these programs, they're just letting you loose and let you do what you do. And now you got to go to structure, and you have to, you know, you have a playbook, and you know, you have certain gaps you have to control in certain ways. It's not freelance. It's so the fact that he's honest about it, and I think it's going to make him even better because he knows deep down, again, you got to learn that playbook, man. You got to do the right thing for these coaches to trust you. Even though you're a 5-star, they still have to be able to trust you to put you in the game because they have to answer to somebody. That position coach, he has to answer the defensive coordinator, and he also has to answer to the head coach. And that's not a good situation to be in, believe me, guys. It's you know, you got one guy yelling at you, and then you got the head coach yelling at you. You're like, God dang. So
well, we got a guy that just popped into the lobby who can talk to us who can talk to us a little bit about being on the hook as a position coach and making a decision on whether to throw a true freshman out there on game day. That's former Miami defensive line coach and player, obviously great defensive
All-American.
All-American defensive end.
There he is. Good looking guy. Look at him.
Oh, I'm feel good looking. I'm trying to whether should I wear the glasses so I can actually see you guys, or should I try to look young?
Nah, man, do like I just go butt naked, bro. Go butt naked. Hey, Greg, man, it's great to have you on the show, man. You're looking good, man. You look like you should be a movie star, bro. You talked to The Rock lately? You need.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on as an extra on one of his next movies, but I keep leaving messages, but I don't get any phone calls.
You and everybody else.
He won't return yours either. It's all good. It's all good.
I think he remembers I didn't put him in the game as much as he thought he should be in the game. I guess that might be a problem.
Hey, that happens, bro. That happens. At least he doesn't have an extra that you know good and well you don't look like that, and he has an extra just to piss you off. That doesn't even look like you.
I got it.
Hey, Greg, man.
Are you referring to that little series, Little Rock, whatever,
Young Rock?
There are a lot of guys that are pissed off about the way they were portrayed.
Oh my God! I heard from a lot of them. You are so right, Lamar.
I thought that was hilarious.
I have never seen Russell Maryland with his hat tilted to the side. That just never happened.
It's not him.
That doesn't fit his personality at all.
And the fact that Russell Maryland supposedly took him to meet Luke, I don't see that happening either. It's Hollywood.
After the meetings, after 8 p.m., you didn't see Russell very much. So
exactly.
He was at those places we didn't really know where they were, like they called the library and study hall.
So Greg, man, you know, we were having a great conversation at the game, at the Central Connecticut State game, and we were just talking about. It was a great conversation.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah. And we were just talking about, you know, being a coach, how hard it is, and people don't really understand this. You know, you're a player, you go from being a player to a coach, and it's hard because not every player, you have to remember, not every player is you, and they don't have that same desire. Talk a little bit about that, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's a definitely steep learning curve when you know, when you're used to going out and doing things doing things yourself or being told and taught how to do things, and you can physically go do it because you know you got the ability to. And totally different than trying to direct somebody else to do something off of a chalkboard session or a walkthrough and try to will them to do the right thing or do the things that you know that you just want to push them out of the way and say, here, let me go out there and do it again. But you know, but that's and I kind of caught the very end of the conversation you guys were having, and that kind of feeds into that a little bit. Is these guys come out of high school and and you guys were talking about these, you know, they're awesome athletes, big specimens, can run, can jump, but you know, you got to break them down when you come in there. You've got to teach them you got to teach them the game. Again, you got to teach them the game on the level they're going to play it, and that's the real key to coaching. I mean, getting a guy to run fast, he can already do that. Getting to run fast in the right direction, that's the big key. And to do it not only not because, as you know, if you're thinking out there, if you're thinking as a player, you're slower than you are. You can't think, and you got to be able to react. You got to have the instincts. You got to be able to know what you're doing. And if they're not able to do that, then you as a coach have to do something on the chalkboard to dumb it down, bring it limit the plays, put them in a position to make plays and to run the defense or offense that they can run. Don't try to get them to do something you think they should be doing, but if they're not able to.
You got to be able to trust them.
Without a doubt. When you send them out there, you're making a call and you're trusting them to, and not only that, as a coach, you kind of should know where your limitations, your strengths and weaknesses are. But those guys are going out there. The guy next to him has to trust them. And the guy next to him, and the guy behind him. And that plays into the whole scheme, which makes it the greatest team game, invented by man. Because you could have some of the greatest players, greatest athletes, and it only takes one to make a mistake, and you're still getting scored on. Or one guy to drop a ball, as I heard they were talking about dropping balls, which I hate. But we drop too many balls, and it kills the drive. It kills the momentum. And especially with a young team or a team trying to find themselves, you need to make the plays that you're supposed to make.
Greg, when a game like this comes in, what are you working on? Techniques with a kid like this, who probably in high school just pushed everybody around and did whatever he wanted to do. I'm sure he has to learn technique, which he might not. You said he has to work in a cohesive manner with the other linemen. There could be stunting, which they never did in high school. So there's a lot before you put this kid in a game like that, right?
Without a doubt. It's not just calling a defense and then having them go out there and execute it. There's so many small little intricate techniques and details that need to be mastered, or at least be understood by the player to so he can master them. It takes a while to, but yeah, I mean the difference between a reach block and a down block and a base block and a draw set to a screen set to those things become instinctive, and you got to drill them until it becomes instinctual to them, and that takes time. And let me just tell you, not everybody learns on the same level, or at the same pace. So trying to get, if you're especially this year, they have a bunch of new guys up front, trying to get all those guys on the same page at the same time. It's a little bit of a juggling act sometimes, so you gotta really, you really just got to go back to basics. What we used to do in camp first day, we would run one front, one coverage, and we would run that all for a week. And see it against everything. Doesn't matter what it was. Get used to playing that defense. And you should know every in and out, and that should be your base. If you know you got to go in there and get a stop, you're going to know everybody. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. That's what you call it. It may be basic, it may be vanilla, but everybody's going to be where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, you guys had guys switching position. I mean, Hambone was a left defensive end. All of a sudden, he got kicked to the inside. You know that. So, I mean, there's a guy who had to learn a whole different technique altogether. And he was there for a few years.
Sure. And you know what? That small move, 2 or 3 feet inside, a world of difference. Now you've got the blocks that you see and the techniques that you use against those blocks have all changed. You may get the base blocks coming at you, but now you're getting guys coming at you from the left and pulling guys coming down on you and pulling out. You got a whole double teams and different types of slips and powers and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, it's but that comes a guy like Hambone that moved in there, and the guys that that were able to do that move were guys that already had a little mastery of that idea or that techniques and what they had to do, and we trusted them going in there. So that wasn't always the most ideal, but that was the best situation for us to that we felt to go into games and be competitive to win.
I think you heard us when you came in talking about Leonard Taylor. I don't know how familiar you are with him. He's a true freshman this year, was a 5-star coming out of Miami Palmetto High School. So this is a kid that the whole community expects to walk on campus here this year and be playing immediately. And that puts an enormous amount of pressure, I think, on the kid because that's what he's hearing from, why aren't you playing? What are you doing out there? And he's struggling behind the scenes, and people aren't seeing that. What kind of pressure is there on the coach of his position to get him on the field and have him ready to go? And in this case, it's Jess Simpson. And Lamar was talking about, like, you can't put, as a coach, you don't want to put somebody out there until you feel you can trust them. You're putting your livelihood on the line. At the same time, you got an entire community saying this kid needs to be playing. Talk a little bit about from the coaching perspective.
And on top of that, Gary, quickly, a rumor that was running around, which I'm sure everybody heard about,
that he was going to go to Florida.
He was going to go to Florida. Did you hear that?
True. I mean, yeah,
I know it's not true, but it's out there.
Yeah. Gary, talking about that, when you walk into a meeting and they just tell you the pressure, how many stars was he as a recruit?
5 star.
Well, we would sit down if he wasn't performing. Butch would sit there and go, "What do we need to get a 6-star athlete for you?" Okay, so, I mean, how many more stars do we need to get for you to get this guy to play? So, that's the mentality going in. But it comes down to having real expectations. Obviously, fans and the community obviously seen him grow up. He's a star, and he's got the athletic ability to be somebody special at his position. But as a coach, you really got to have real expectations. It's a lot of pressure. Don't get me wrong. The D coordinator wants him to play. Whoever recruited him wants him to play because he's got to go back and talk to that coach. And the head coach, obviously, everybody's putting. But we're in meetings as a coach. You're in meetings pretty much all day, every day. All day. And so they're not. They're seeing the same thing we're seeing as position coaches. All those coordinators and head coaches. So. Guys like Butch, like I said, who played D-line, it was a little who I coached for as D-line. He'd come in and always want to, still be a D-line coach, but make the head coach salary. But he understood. He understood, and he would give some. And hopefully, everybody's pitching in to help to get. And let me just say this too: you're talking about a freshman or any freshman coming in. We're talking about what they did in high school and what they're expected to do on the field. Don't you know they're coming into college too for the first time? They're only 17, 18. Yep. I don't know. I remember slightly those years, but that seems a distant memory. But there's a whole lot of other as they're going to go into class, go on to study, all the demands, weight room demands, all the things. Their time, their day is so full. And their heads are spinning pretty much all the time. And then you got to learn these 4 fronts with these 5 blitzes, with these 7 games, and know where to fill when this guy does this, does that. It's a lot to expect a young guy to come in and take over a position and dominate. Again, as a coach, if you see him and he has the ability to do that, where he's going to help you win games and be successful. Then you may have to bring down the number of plays you call, give him a package, do things like that. But there's a lot of pressure. There is. I mean, because especially in this day and age, you don't have 5-6 years. You don't have you have 1 year at a time to get it done, and you're being judged on obviously how your position plays as a position coach, your defense plays as a coordinator, and obviously we're seeing now. As a head coach, how wins and losses. I mean, Manny's feeling it right now too. So and I see a lot of FRs behind a lot of names that are on the roster right now. either redshirt freshman or red. That's a short. There's two things I see about that. Either your recruiting has to be adjusted, or you need to stop going in the portal and to where you're screwing up your recruiting class in your years. Start bringing in guys from all different classes. You start throwing off your numbers a little bit, and you kind of sell your soul to a certain degree for a 1 or 2 years, and then you're struggling again. And then, or either the recruiting's got to change, or your development and issues got to be looked at,
or both. Hey, I have a quick
or both.
I have a quick question on this because it's bothered me since the North Carolina game last year. Greg, could you explain to me to be able to seal the edge? Because I haven't seen it. You guys seen it? And tell us what's supposed to happen, because I tried to ask Chad last week. He didn't know. But you should know this. What's going on there?
Oh, leverage. It's football leverage. It's. I just got a headache. I'm remembering it all.
Like a true D-line coach.
Oh man, let me tell you, it kills me. I'm not gonna lie. I sit up in the air conditioning and I'm yelling from a place of comfort. So, but I am yelling because I see it all the time.
I saw it.
Yeah, but I see it all the time. I mean, it's really, again, basic fundamentals of leverage on that your defense should hold. When we ran a 4-3, we always knew it's really simple. The guy that you were keying on, whether you're all the way out of the corner or you're all the way in at the tackle, the guy you're keying on, when he disappears inside, your job is to fill the back, and then the second levels is going to replace you. I mean, it's kind of simple, So everybody now you're creating more leverage. When it comes to setting an edge, I don't get it all half the time how these guys can't see,
I remember in the North Carolina game last year, I saw a couple of plays where Jalen Phillips looks like it was influence blocked. Like the tackle was out wider, so he figured, this is going to be easy. I'll just cut in here and get to the quarterback, and bang, he got sucked in. Am I right?
Again, that comes down to technique and teaching on the field. One thing that we always did, I mean, from day one to day whatever, to the end, the last day, we were on the practice field. We would start the day with fundamentals. What blocks we're going to see. We'd take what blocks we're going to see, and we'd work through them. Everybody, and we would do it with our eyes closed. I would actually literally put them out there with their eyes closed, put their hands on the old lineman, and have that old lineman run the block so they could just feel it. And so they know, okay, it's going here, ball's going here. Going here, ball's coming here. Going here, I gotta spill. Going here, I gotta contain. And it really just comes down to drilling it. And because let me tell you, you're playing Russian roulette if you're trying to call a play to put a player on a play. They got to be able to make the play no matter what it is. If you're trying to call your defense or even your offense to put a player on a play, you're playing Russian roulette because what are your odds? You're gambling, and it's not obviously very productive in that respect. But the more your thing, it's very fundamental. What kills me, this is the thing that really gives me agita, is when I see a good pass rush, guy come off the edge, turn the corner, and he aims for the inside of the quarterback or aims at the wrong side of the quarterback, and the quarterback spins outside of him and he gives up contain. Upfield shoulder, and again, it's just a really simple upfield shoulder, work him in, push him into where your help is. And it comes out to a little bit of football IQ, a little bit of technique, and just
not
working
panicking. Not panicking.
Yeah. Act like you've been there before.
Act like you've been there. Hey, Greg. It was one thing we had in our conversation up top that really stood out. When we talked about coaching on the coaching staff, when the banners were flying. Oh, how hard was that, bro?
Well, yeah. I mean, I was only there once, so that's when Butch was. I remember coming in and Butch had the banners flying over top. Fire Butch Davis, which and then you guys know, but coming in when he came in, it was a pretty bad situation. That happened. So, it makes you angry to a certain extent because as you're in there so many hours a day, you guys are inseparable. You become most of the time come fast friends, and our family and everybody. That's what you do. Our family nights are together. We didn't have any other. So you develop that bond. So yeah, it's either going to make one or two things happen, I think, and depending on who you are as a coach and where your commitment level is to your head coach, it's either going to make you really dig in and work harder like we did, because we knew we were doing the right things. We were working the right thing. Some of the results weren't there. 96, 97 was a disaster, but we knew we were getting the right players in and getting them in place, and then we saw that incline. Or you take the other route and you just start calling your Rolodex and seeing where you can get your next job. It's simple as that. You just get on and see, hey, listen, I might be available.
That has to be hard. That really has to be hard, though. You're sitting there and they're sitting firing Butch, and you're like, hey, man, you're firing me too.
Well, exactly. Listen, they fired Butch. As you know, them head coaches, they've got the buyouts.
Yeah, they got the
right. They make us buy out. As assistants, they make us buy our own boxes to move.
Hold on a second, man. I got the chef here, man. Wait. There go the chef. He just bought me some chicken wings. Yeah, baby. Nice. All right, that's my guy.
I like it. How come I can't come in studio?
Anytime, dog. The studio moves from Bo Camper to Bo Campers. Bo Camper to Bo Camper. We moving all over the place.
I like it.
By the way, he hasn't changed his underwear in years. He just told us that before.
No, that was when we were on the win streak.
Oh.
Okay, we had the same jock strap because Mike and what was the other guy name? Mike and what was the other?
Mike Short, Bobby Revilla. Yeah, Bobby.
They only gave you one when you're a freshman. You only got one jock strap, one jock strap. That's it. And it had to last. And it might have been a 1987 Orange Bowl jock strap.
Yeah, that's right. It had to buy me Orange Bowl writing across it.
He's laughing because those are premium.
Yes,
those are premium. Now the other ones.
Hey, wow. Bro. They're going big online right now. If you want to find one, especially unwashed.
So you guys were just talking about the planes flying up above, which has happened here a few times. I want to play a clip here from ESPN Game Day on Saturday morning, and I want you guys to tell me your thoughts on how you deal with this when something like this happens on a national stage.
I go all the way back to 2006. It was last year that Larry Coker was the coach there. That's 15 years. Miami has averaged 7-5 since 2006. They've had 5 head coaches. You just think about with the Orange Bowl gone, the student body has to drive 45 minutes to go to their games. You have an athletic department that clearly is not really showing that this is something that they are willing to try to make changes. The president, there was an article from Barry Jackson this week that came out, said that the president basically told Blake James, the AD, hey, sports, you're on your own. That's your thing. I don't know if that's true. It was in an article. To me, college football, you look at the powerhouse programs, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, president, AD, head coach, same vision. Have all the same, they're aligned in their vision for what needs to happen, recruiting, budget, staff, whatever it means. That's what it takes. Miami doesn't have that. So I don't think it matters who the head coach is until you get a president and an AD and a coach together on the same page.
Yep.
I guess football doesn't matter. It matters to the alums, to the brotherhood of the U.
Right.
But I don't know if it matters to the people making decisions at Miami. And if they don't change that, it doesn't matter who's the head coach.
Wow. So how do you deal with that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't pretend to know the line of power at the University of Miami in the athletic department. I know, obviously, know Blake James for many years. I know he wants to win. I don't know President Frank too well. I've met him a few times. I don't know where he stands on that, but I think it rings a little true to a certain extent. At least that's what people are seeing out there. I think that's what the image is, and obviously not winning creates a lot of negative things to be said. So so you can't argue with what he's saying by any facts of results, because it's true. We have been mediocre for the better part of the last 15 years, and it's as a former player, as a former coach, as someone like Lamar, knows. I mean, we put ourselves on the line. It's frustrating, maybe more, definitely more so than just your average person out there, but I really think where some of the discount, I don't think it's a lack of wanting to win. I mean, everybody wants to win. I think it might be a little bit of a lack of what it takes to win at the University of Miami. We're not Ohio State. We're not Alabama. We don't have 80,000 screaming fans every game. Listen, we could have been number one in the country last week. We could have been the number one team in the country, and we still would have got 25,000 fans. Okay, so you got to know the program you're in. You got to know the beast. It takes more. It takes more than what we're doing, obviously, to win there. We can't go I guess we can't go in there thinking, I think another part of the problem is we go in there thinking, we're the U, and we got a great marketing strategy, so that's going to win games for us. Well, obviously that's not working, and to me, it really just comes down to getting people in there that understand what it takes to win at the University of Miami. I mean, because it is different. It's much different. It's different in a lot of ways. It's different in its brotherhood of former players. It's different in its campus. It's different in its what you got to do. It's different in the type of recruit you get. I mean, it is. And if you don't understand that, then I think that's what kind of gets us to where we are now. And that's it's sad.
So speaking of which, Greg, so that happens on ESPN, and then this follows it. A Benny Blades tweet. For me personally, it's unacceptable that Canes football is not a national powerhouse. I've recently requested a meeting with Julio Frank and Blake James together. Productive change is needed for Canes football, and I want to be well involved. Okay, so you're obviously a former player. Lamar's a former player. The Miami football alumni are as vocal as it gets. Do they need to get you guys more involved in the modern day program, because you do understand what it takes?
It's a good question. I mean, it really is. I think we do have to get former players involved, because it comes with a wealth of knowledge on where their stories are and where we came from and what we did to be successful at that time. Where I can see it could be a little slippery is that, it's the same thing that Lamar and we're talking about with coaching. Sometimes us former players have a little different memory of how something happened and what went down. So it's got to be tempered with, but I think there's a lot of former players that are in a position to give a lot of help to the university right now. I mean, there's a lot of former players that are coaches at this time. There's a lot of former players that are in the football world, whether it be in scouting or in the NFL of some sorts. There's a lot of guys that I think could definitely they could use their help, I guess.
You mean like Alonzo Highsmith when that came out last year? Gary's been talking about that for years. They turned it down. They just said
there was a booster that was willing to pay his salary for 3 years to come in and be kind of like an ambassador for the program in the community, to set up an NFL level scouting department so that all the recruiting mistakes that have been being made don't continue being made. I mean, Greg, they've been blowing like 50% of recruiting classes. It's almost like the program's been on self-imposed probation going on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years now. So the idea was that Alonzo could bring in a few pro-level scouts, that they could upgrade the evaluation of prospects that was taking place in the building, that he could get out in the community and build better bridges with the high school coaches and things like that. It was great in concept, and there was a booster that was going to pay for it. And Manny and Blake still turned it down, and I was, it was surprising, but
that says a lot, Gary. I think that told a lot of us a lot about, and then I were talking last week, Greg, about you talk about your coaching staff. You had the staff, Jimmy and Butch, whatever. Sure. Who on this staff could look inside themselves and say, this is how we did it when I was here? Nobody's got a title. Some of them don't have any head coaching experience. Who does Manny turn to? And who do these guys turn to? Where's the pedigree in all this? It's just not there.
Well, yes.
Not to denounce these guys like in public, but it's true.
Hey, Barry, hey, Bruce, we're not gonna put my guy on the spot now. God damn, you trying to put my guy on the spot? That's my team.
Well, that's what the show is about. People that want to be on the show, they got to be on the spot.
Hey, I know. I got this. You
got it.
Greg's never seen anything he can't handle.
But listen. Hold on. Before my man G. Mark speak, let me tell you something. My man Greg Mark, as a freshman, Greg Mark used to take it out on us, boy. I'm talking about, man. He's as a D lineman, he couldn't wait to hit me. But he'd hit you. He'd hit me because you had these little string out drills and all that other stuff. But he got his opportunity. He would make it count. And he would do this thing when he hit me, he would drag all this shit up on me. And that, obviously, like we talked about, Greg, that's how people get pregnant and shit. But yeah, he just made you know he was there. He was like, yeah, you freaking
I seriously doubt he was the only one that wanted to knock you on your ass. I doubt it.
I was a nice guy, But Greg used to bring it. Man, he would bring it every day. And I'm like, but that's what, as a freshman, we got to see. And we see these guys be like, man, why they going full speed all the time? We didn't understand, because we were coming from high school, where in high school, you're the guy, you don't go full speed all the time. You kind of save it for the game. But these guys, and man, during the week, when we were on scout team, and they were trying to bring it, seriously bring it all year long. And you're like, Jesus, do we get a break from this? Don't they know they got a game on Saturday?
Well, that's kind of where I was going to go with that. Is when you talk about the coaches that are stepping out there, I'm sure. They all have great backgrounds, I suppose. I'm not, again, I don't want to disparage any of their coaching ability and where they're at. That's just to speak on that type of atmosphere that has to happen, that we've felt had to happen. There was no time off. There was no pity pat. It was, unless they took all of our pads off, we were coming after you. You're going to get hit. It was because you knew the guy behind you wasn't going to slow down. You knew, and not only that, our job, or their job on scout team at that time, what he's talking about, was to get us ready for the game. So if they're going out there not running hard and they're not bringing it, they're not giving us the look we need. So, that's the only time I could actually catch Lamar. He was a little faster than me at the time, but every once in a while they'd run I'd get to see the card where the play that was going to run and see where he was coming, and just kind of go do it. But again, that's a mentality. That's an atmosphere that needs to be cultivated and created, and that goes back to what you're saying. It's a lot different. It's a whole lot different than me saying, I can go deep sea fishing, tuna fishing up in the Bering Sea because I watched it on TV. Okay, yeah, and that's the difference. If I did it before, then I have the experience to kind of bring to the table, and that's the difference. It's I think when part of trying to live up to the past legacy, can be a little bit of an anchor for guys if they don't understand how they got there, because winning's winning. Everybody knows at the end you just won. They don't want to see how many eggs were broken making the omelet. They just want to eat the omelet. Right. So it's a very Do you want a whole team, a whole coaching staff full of ex-players? Probably not. That could get a little crazy.
Imagine 10 Lamars. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But that being said, I think there is something to having somebody, even like an Ed Reed. Ed Reed was there. He knows what it's about. You know, I don't know how much he's involved in the day-to-day, but that, you know, he understood that as you go out there and it's you battle until the whistle blows, and then you go, you know, and you got, if you don't, you're going to get knocked on your ass, and that's as simple as that.
And I think that from the fans' perspective, which is what I try to bring to the show, I think the losing is bad. It's really bad. But I think the failure to correct mistakes over a season or two, and the same mistakes and the same dumb penalties, that's so frustrating. And again, I mentioned sealing the edge. That was 11 games ago or whatever it was, 7, 8 games ago. They're still doing it. And that's the frustrating part. Where's the corrections? What film are they looking at? That's scary.
Bruce, listen, we not on the staff.
I'm being too practical. I'm sorry.
We're not on the staff, bro. We just former coaches. We coached, and that's all we know. So, you know, you can't be asking my man G Mark all this, man. Look at he getting all a little fluffy. He got a little sweat on his forehead.
I'm good. I'm under a fan in the air conditioning.
Next week, tell me who the guests are in advance, and I'll prepare the questions, and I'll make the baby questions. How's that?
Listen,
you're
100% correct. If you make a mistake, okay, we'll fix it. You make the mistake again, okay, you're not okay. We'll give you one more chance. You again, go meet your best friend over there. It's called the bench.
Yeah, you guys police yourselves. You guys are taking it out on yourselves. I heard all these stories. We've all heard the stories. You know, especially when Jerome was around. Oh my! You make a mistake? Are you nuts? Don't make it again.
No, hell no. Listen, my favorite story I'll tell you that I ever had as a coach, or from a coach in a meeting room. I heard this from the players themselves. I heard this that Donnie Solinger.
Oh yeah.
Would be in the room and he'd have all their names up on the board and on the dry erase board. And you miss a play, you miss the block, you miss the play, he'd go up and he'd erase one of your letters of your name. He'd keep erasing it, and he goes, "Hey, you see this? You keep making these plays, you're going to disappear."
And you had a short name. Your name is short. You only have 8 letters in it, pal.
So you're going to erase it because you're taking you right off the depth chart. So it really comes down to holding these kids accountable too, to making the plays or making the tackles, sealing the edge, making the blocks, doing the things, the fundamentals that need to be done as coaches. But it also falls on the coaches to get that done, to get them taught, to get them learned to where they need to be and what they need to do at any given time. And
the fans are frustrated. You got it.
They are frustrated. Greg, man, we appreciate having you out tonight. You know, we had some good talk in that box about you have daughters, I have daughters, so I will be leaning on you just like I did as a freshman.
Okay, no problem.
And your beautiful wife, and I hope you see you guys tomorrow.
We'll be there.
Be out tomorrow, and man, what a beautiful family you have. How many daughters you have, man?
I've got 3. 19, 15, and 12.
Oh boy, you're in the gauntlet, man.
You see this right here? This is called a stiff neck.
Yeah.
In the gauntlet.
I will be leaning on you, brother. I will be leaning on you. But man, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. And I'll see you tomorrow.
You got it. You got it. Now, I just want to leave with one thing since we were beating up all the coaches in there. I'll be there tomorrow. I was there last week, and I'll be there for the remainder of the time. We're going to be there. We ain't going anywhere. So you know,
we're pulling for you.
And we weren't beating them up. It's honest analysis. It's fair.
Of course. Hey, listen.
Next time you're on, I'll bring you cotton candy. How's that? Okay.
Yeah. If this rustles their feathers up too much, then we might want to think about our toughness of the coach.
You should have heard
another profession.
Anyway, hey, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Anytime.
See you, man.
See you tomorrow, baby.
You got it, man. Be good.
Okay. There you go.
Cotton candy.
cotton candy.
No, he was awesome, man.
Yeah,
like,
he's great.
He gave great perspective and clearly knows what he's talking about. I mean, and as he should.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the fight for a long time, both as a player and a coach.
Yeah. Look, you can, whatever we say today is somewhat meaningless. Because tomorrow night it means everything. It's
tomorrow.
Tomorrow get it done tomorrow.
All this talk that we talking tomorrow night. I mean, we can't sit here and have this analysis and analyze and all that other stuff. We're not there. You're not there as the average fan. I'm not there as a former player. Gary, you're not there as a long-time Canes coverer. I mean, it depends. It depends on them. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
No
we
doubt.
can't, man, I love having Greg Mark on, man. That was good shit.
Hey, well, he knows what he's talking about.
Wait, did I say good stuff? Oh, my girls might be listening. Matter of fact, hey Blake, hey Logan, hey Parker, love ya.
Daddy's drinking water.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. How about that?
Hey, let's talk for a couple minutes about the young quarterbacks. Who look like they're going to have to carry the show tomorrow night. Lamar, tell me what you saw from Tyler Van Dyke and Jake Garcia, and the good things, the bad things. What you felt you were seeing out there last week. Well, I thought it was a good situation for them. It's almost like playing 7-on-7. It was not too much pass rush. You get an opportunity to make plays. You get throws. You know where exactly your guys are going to be. You're playing against inferior competition. So those guys, man, they stepped up. They did what they were supposed to do. If they didn't do that, we would be very upset right now. Very upset. But they did what they were supposed to do. And it looked good. But they were who we thought they were, Central Connecticut State. Okay. And they are who we thought they are. So we need to see that type of experience, the young experience, the young movement happen against a Virginia for it to be legit. Because if it doesn't happen against Virginia, or those veterans don't mix in and it's not a good mix, there are going to be some heads rolling. And it's not going to be good.
I like the fact that both of those kids were able to throw on the run. They got out of the pocket and they threw the ball, especially Jake Garcia. He took off when he had to take off, and he turned on the jets and he made a big gain, almost got a touchdown. You got to like that. That's instinctive. That's not something you can teach all that. These two guys have the instincts for this. That's what I was impressed about. Wow, they didn't really make a lot of bad mistakes, not bad throws. They looked good. I liked it. I mean, yes, who they're playing against, but still.
But you know what? That's what they were in the game for. I mean, they look good. We were excited about the opportunity that we got to see these guys and in a victory. That's important because we could have seen them in a loss and we would have been like, oh, well, you know what? They're okay, but they look good. Get some more experience. Maybe get a couple play. I would put them in. Well, actually, they're starting. Well, one of them is starting. I was about to say if Derek was healthy, I would put them in, but they're starting. One of them is starting. I would put both of them in and just let them go to town, and we'll see what happens. Because everybody right now is feeling good. We're all feeling good. We're feeling great about the University of Miami program after Saturday. My poll, matter of fact, I had a poll on Twitter where I said, are you feeling good, University of Miami fans? The majority of them said yes. Some said no. A couple of them said, you know what, we're waiting to see. So I think for a lot of fans, we knew what we were getting ourselves into, and we want to just see what happens against Virginia tomorrow night.
Yeah,
it's a big game.
And if they don't win, I feel sorry for Gary on Tuesday because he could be on for 24 consecutive hours leading into this show and still not answer all the questions.
Man, don't say if they don't win. They got to win. They have no choice.
If they lose, I said if they don't win.
Hey, well, I got a guy in the lobby who says that 10 times out of 10 that he could run Lamar Thomas down on the practice field in a minute.
What?
That's right.
What?
That's our man, Mr. Roland Smith,
Hey.
Jr.,
Hey,
head
what's
coach
happening,
of
fellas?
the proud head coach of the Miami Central Rockets.
What?
Hey, how you
What's
guys
up,
doing
Roland?
tonight? How you guys
Patty.
doing tonight, Leonard?
Good.
What's
How
happening,
about you,
fellas?
man? All right, looking good.
Patty, how
Finish-
you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good. Lamar, good to be on your
Yep.
show tonight, man. With you guys.
Y'all just had a grueling practice and getting ready for a nice game this weekend. Who y'all play this weekend?
We play our arch rival, Miami Northwestern Senior High School, on Friday night at 7:30.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big game, right?
Always, year in and year out, it's the biggest game in the city, man. You know, come on out. Everybody in the city will be out to watch this game. Tickets are going real fast, man. The kids are excited about playing the game. The coaching staff is excited. You know, we look forward for playing this game 365 days every year, and it's back, and it's going to be an exciting time on this Friday night. And a lot of fans, a lot of food, soul food,
Yeah.
a lot of bragging rights going to be online.
Hey, Roland, you said
I
tickets.
need to show
Aren't
up,
you gonna
bro.
hook us up?
I need to show up, man. You know, I'm down with the soul food.
Yeah, look at it.
Didn't you coach
I
at
see you, Lamar.
Northwestern at one point? Didn't you coach at Northwestern
Yes.
at one point?
Yes, I was the head coach from 2001 to 2006, and I took a 6-year absence, spent some time with my son. You know, he
Yeah.
was getting into ball and stuff, so I wanted to spend some time to get with him, and had a couple of offers at other schools to try to get me to come in and coach, but I really got my family blessing on this situation here at Miami Central, and I've been there ever since. And this is my 10th year, and won 5 state championships since I've been there, so I'm excited about
5
being
state
there.
championships. Congratulations.
Wait.
That's
Did
awesome.
you say 5 state
You did say
championships?
5, Lamar.
Five there as a head
Damn.
coach, yes.
Yeah.
And how many did you win? Did you win a couple at Northwestern? How many did you win at Northwestern?
I won 2. I won a state championship, and that second year I didn't get a chance to coach my team, but everybody knows that
Yes.
I won a national
So-
championship. That team with Corey them, that was my team.
Yeah. So basically, you won 7 state championships.
7 and 9 total, with 2 being assistants at my Northwestern. One
Wow.
with Willie Goldsmith,
Oh, yeah.
one with
Wow.
Coach Billy Rose.
Florida High School, Florida Sports Association. You better be listening, because this guy deserves to get him a ring.
Yeah.
Florida sports. I mean, you inducting all these guys they're not even from Florida. These guys are Florida bred, and it's done really great things down here in South Florida, man. That is some. I mean, I didn't know it was that many state championships, bro.
Hey man,
Yeah,
you know, every year, I just credit to my kids and my coaching staff and everybody who's working, being a part of my program.
And LT, I'll bet you all 9 of those teams would have beaten Central Connecticut State last Saturday.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. There's
Were you
no
at that
doubt
game,
about
Roland?
it.
Did you go to the game, Roland?
No, I didn't get a chance to make it to the game.
You guys would crush that team.
You ain't missed too much. I mean, a lot of guys
Okay.
from a lot of young guys got a chance to show out, but I'm pretty sure the teams that you put on the field could have crushed those guys, man. And man, I did not know you won so many state championships, man. I mean, to be honest with you, to be a coach and to coach high school and to have so many great players come out of there, I mean, that has to be a great feeling, man. I mean, that's so many great players you see have gone on to successful careers on and off the field. I mean, how is that feeling, man?
Oh, it's a great feeling, Lamar. Anytime you get a chance to shape young men up from their 9th grade year up to their senior year, to be the student athletes that they you develop them to be, and you see them go off and be successful not only in the NFL but also in college and also in the real world, and be great fathers. That make me feel real proud. I think I did a tremendous job. I've been in the school system for 30 years. This is my 30th year coming up.
Wow.
I started young, and I'm winding down, but it make me feel real good to
Hey,
be
wait,
able
wait!
to,
You get in
coach
the
the guys
drop
I coach.
program, can't you? You get in the drop program, can't you? You already
Yes,
in
I
that?
can, Lamar. No, I think
He needs to drop into the University of Miami. That's where he should be dropping. Coaching over there.
I hear you, Coach.
Hey, have you thought about you know, maybe taking those talents that you have to another university, or you know, moving up, or you okay with where you are, you know, coaching, because you're doing such a tremendous job at Central. I mean, when you mention Central, first thing that comes up is Roland. You know, it's Roland Smith. Your name is synonymous with success. Have you thought about, you know, in these later days of you coaching there, you, like you said, you got 30 years in the school system. Have you thought about moving on or not?
Yes, I'm thinking about that. You know, once I, you know, get in the drop, and you know, I have 5 years to do 5. I don't have to do 5 if I do get in the drop. I really thought about that. Once I got toward my retirement, you know, situation, make sure I
Losing for a hot second.
Coach Billy Rowe have done. Billy Rowe was a guy who I coached for at Miami Northwestern Senior High School. He retired at Dade County. He got in the drop, and then he became the safety coach at Florida A&M at his alma mater. It would be nice for something like that to happen for me too as well. You know, to be able to go back and
He's getting a couple phone calls. It's probably his kids calling him right now.
there you go.
There he is.
My kids calling.
The kids calling right now. Kids excited, man. We got kids watching, man. Go ahead.
Nah, so I at the end of my career, I do want to go to collegiate level or just do something different. I feel like I could help some university out, you know, to be successful. And just like you did when you became college coach, Lamar. I can recall when you was a high school coach and you came out to my school when you was at University of Louisville and wherever you was at coaching at to recruit my kids. You did a tremendous job. You need to be back in coaching as well, Coach.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that, Ro. Appreciate that.
Did he get the guy? Did he go to Louisville or no?
No, he always said I was window shopping. So he won't call me. Like, so I'm so happy that he's on the show tonight, because it's like one of the first times in a long time that he's actually called me Lamar. He don't call me Lamar. He called me, and it's embarrassing, he calls me by a freshman nickname. And even when I showed up at his school, I'm like, yeah, I'm here to see Coach Roland Smith, and I see Miss Mello and all the people. They say, oh, Coach Smith, we got Lamar Thomas. Who, Fats up there? I'm like, bro, don't call me that, bro. He will continually call me Fats in front of everybody, and he continuously always used to say to me, Fats, you window shopping. Who you want? Who you going after? I mean, one of the things I can say about Roland in recruiting, he's all about getting his kids somewhere. And that's what it should be about. You know, yeah, you win games, and that's all good. But at the end of the day, what your success should be about is how many kids you get to college, because you don't want to go undefeated and nobody goes to school. Absolutely. Because that in the community, yeah, you win the championship ring, but that don't mean shit. You got to be able to get these kids to go to school, and Roland has always been about making sure that his kids, he knows, and he's pushing, and he's telling you, hey man, you want this kid, LT. Hey man, you want this kid, LT. Hey man, you want this kid. And he's a real coach as far as recruiting. He handles. I don't even know if you have a recruiting coordinator. I've always met with you.
Yes.
Every time I come, you pushing. You got like a list. He got like a list of guys. He pull out a list and say, what you want, what you're looking for. And that's what I love about going over to Central.
Yes, I do have a recruiting coordinator. I have my assistant head coach, Coach Anthony White, who also worked with me. And the rest of my coaching staff.
I know Anthony. I know Coach White.
Yeah, the rest of my coaching staff does a great job with me. But when the coaches come over to the school, they all want to meet the head coach, and they always want to talk with the head coach, because one thing Lamar knows he's going to get from me, he's going to get honest truth about my kids. I'm not going to hide anything. I'm going to tell you what the kid need to work on or what the kid lacks with. And I'm going to let you know what kind of kid you're getting. But he's right. I do like winning state championships, but I enjoy, recruiting when the coaches come out of school and trying to get my kids in school, because I know this is their way out of the ghetto and get out in the city. And these kids work real hard to receive athletic scholarships. And we pride ourselves at Miami Central of having student athletes there at Miami Central, not just athletes.
You've done an incredible job. And you say you always tell the truth, which is good. I've known you for a while. So is Wesley Bethune coming to Miami? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with you. I asked him that once before, and he's not going to answer that. But he says the truth. You got to tell the truth, Roland. So
Yes.
what do you got this year? You guys are what? What's your record now? 3-2.
We're 2-2. We were supposed to play. We were supposed to play North Miami Beach. We lost to the number 3 team in the nation. We went out to California and we lost to St. John Bosco, and then we lost to the number 7 team in the nation. On the last play of the game, we was down 21-20. We drove down the field with less than 6 seconds on the clock. We kicked the field goal. A kicker slipped on the new turf and it bounced off the upright and bounced back, and they beat us 21-20. Then we came back home, and the third week we played Booty Washington, our rival here in South Florida, and we beat them 51-7. And then we played our first district game 2 weeks ago when we played against Miami Springs and beat them 53-0. And we were supposed to play against North Miami Beach last week, but we had a lightning delay, and we're going to make that game up. So we only played 4 games, and now week 6 we're supposed to be playing against Miami Northwestern Senior High School this Friday night, which we are very excited about. The community is excited about it. Our kids are excited about it. And every year, this game is a game that's marked on the calendar as one of the big games of the season, even though we play big games week in and week out. I tell my kids, in order to be the best, you got to play the best, and that's what we do at Miami Central.
Hey, Roland, I got to ask you this. What's it like coaching in the Mecca? I mean, that has to be a great experience, coaching at Trash Power. I mean, that's like, it's I mean, to go walk in that stadium, man, it's so many great games have been there. I mean, my first experience going to watch a Carroll City versus Northwestern game, like how's this on Miami-Dade campus? I mean, what's going on here? But man, it was just a great experience.
Lamar, let me tell you something, man. I grew up in the Mecca, man. I can recall when I was playing at Northwest Boys Club, and I couldn't wait as a kid to play at the Mecca, as a high school student athlete. But not only did I play there, I won a lot of games there in high school, but I also to be able to coach at Trash Power Stadium, that's now been renovated by Nike. When we 3 years ago, they renovated the stadium, and the stadium is awesome. It's a great feeling. It's the best high school stadium in the world to me. I played in a lot of stadiums in the country, especially when we get in the atmosphere that we're going to have on this Friday night. Yeah. So those of y'all who want to see some good high school football, and want to see some excellent talent and some kids that really play hard, come to this game and watch these two teams play and watch the Rockets. We're doing a tremendous job preparing for this game, and we're excited about playing this game and putting on a good show for the community and everybody in South Florida.
Hey, Ro, I still have my Kentucky coaching card. Can I use that to get up in there? I'm trying to get up in that thing, you know what I'm saying, for free.
Lamar, we can get it. He's going to leave us passes. Don't worry about it. We'll be in there.
Hey, Roland, do you like getting out and going around the country and playing some of the other top high school teams around America and kind of seeing a little bit of a different style of football?
Yes, I do. I think, first of all, it's a great experience for these kids. When you say you're the best, you got to go out and play the best. Anybody that know me, I've been doing that ever since I was at Miami Northwestern when I was the head coach there. When I had Ja'Cory Harris, I feel like, we're kind of underrated down here in South Florida. All these different states, their coaches have better facilities. They have all the funding that they can need. We have lack of funding. We have lack, of everything. You go to the stadium, you go to their weight rooms, and you see what those kids are working with and see what we're working with. And for us to go out there and put on a good product, the way we do to compete against those schools, is quite awesome deal to say what we do to use what we got with very limited resources. We played the St. Thomas's of the world. We played the American Heritage of the world. And this year, we got to play American Heritage to try to make our run to state. And you go to check out those schools' facilities, and you'll see the difference. But one thing I pride myself on, and we pride ourselves on at Miami Central, that we put a good product on the field. I feel like we have the best high school coaching staff in the nation, not only in the state, but in the nation. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And I wouldn't trade my coaches for no staff in the world. And I have coaches that recycle, that goes on and become head coaches. Even the coach I'm playing this Friday night is a former assistant coach of mine, Max Edwards, who was my defensive coordinator, not only at Northwestern, but also at Miami Central. And I was the one to help him get that job there at Miami Central. I got Jared Gibson, who was my defensive coordinator at Miami Killian. Right. We got Cox, who's the head coach at Booker T Washington. And I have some other assistant coaches out there who's doing a tremendous job around the county. You know, I have Dorian James who didn't coach for me but played for me, who's now at Carol City. So I'm proud of all the guys who came up under me and is doing well as head coaches. But I'm also proud of the staff that I have here at Miami Central on the job they do with me at Miami Central year in and year out.
It sounds to me like it's analogous to the University of Miami when you guys were playing back in the day. You didn't have the greatest facilities, those tubs with the ice and all those things were just not like everybody else's, but it didn't matter because you guys had something in here and you let it out on the field and you had a lot of pride playing. So I think it's kind of similar. You know, you're doing the best you can and guys like you are making it happen. So you should be really proud of yourself because we're proud of you, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. But I am proud of myself and my coaching staff and my kids, and plus the parents too, because the parents, I just want to commend all those parents that who for over the years that trusted me with their kids and brought them to my program. And myself and my coaching staff, we did a tremendous job of developing their student athletes.
Roland, you talked about the facilities.
Wait. You brought up a great word, trust.
Yes.
And I told you, Gary, I was going to ask him this question. Trust. South Florida recruiting is all about trust.
You're absolutely right.
100%. Am I correct? Because you know, there are going to be guys that come down from the Buffaloes or the Wisconsins, and all they're sending these guys that you don't even know that are going to come in and ask you, hey, can we get this guy? You're going to look at him sideways. I've been trying to tell people about the dynamics of South Florida recruiting. You have to, it's about trust. And when you sit there as a head coach and you got this guy sitting across from you, he had to Google where Central High School was. You're looking at him like, bro, you ain't getting no players out of here. You got to come back here a couple of times. Your coach, your head coach should not have sent you down here. Talk to him a little bit about that, bro, because people don't understand that you got to pay your dues to be able to recruit South Florida.
Man, I mean, Lamar, you hit it on the head. You know, a lot of times, you know, a lot of guys come from different colleges that you like. They sent you here to Miami Central to recruit a kid, and what you coach? And you know, you got to be able to relate to these kids, and you got to be able to get kids, you know, coaches on your staff that that coaches are familiar with, and then you got to build relationships. You know, some coaches do a tremendous job of building relationships, and some coaches don't do a great job of building relationships. And those coaches that don't do a great job of building a relationship with the coaching staff, the kids, they will not get those kids because one thing about these kids, they're about trust, and if we tell them, you know, we say, you know, I don't tell a kid where to go, but if a kid, mom, and a kid asks me what I think about a particular coach, I'm gonna tell them the truth, what I think about him. I think if I feel like you'll do well with them, or I can tell him that he's a good guy and say some good things, but at the end of the day, that's still your decision. I would do that. But so I always tell my parents before we make our final decision, let's sit down and talk and let's think about the pros and the cons of these 2 or 3 different schools or 4 or 5 different schools you're thinking about. And we put it out there and we go over them. And then I always ask the kids, if the coach leaves, will you be able to continue to be at that school and have success and be successful if they leave? Or will you get up and leave and try to transfer and go out to another school? Because nowadays, these kids, they're not staying at schools lately like how we did. These kids are jumping to the transfer portal like it's nothing, and they can play right away. You got to work. The one thing that we did when we was in school at Miami back in the days when Lamar Thomas and myself and the rest of those guys who was there, we competed, man. We didn't care who was there. Lamar could have went anywhere in the country and played a lot faster than he played at Miami. I could have went anywhere in the country and played a lot faster than I played at Miami. I even had college coaches tell me, why would you want to go to Miami when they got this particular player? They know the roster more than I know the roster. I said, because I'm not scared to compete. And I used to always let them know. I said, why you want to go there? Because I say, I'm a local boy. They're doing well. They're winning. Plus, I don't want to go. I was the only child. I didn't want to go too far from home. And I could have went anywhere in the country, and I could have went as far as Pittsburgh, West Virginia, Michigan, or I could have stayed in the state, which I did stay in the state. I went for the state of Florida. But at the time, I wanted to compete against the best and see how good I was because I enjoy competing against the best. And people told me I wasn't going to play as a freshman. And when I came there, I was the 4th-string cornerback. My roommate, Randall Hill, they had him on the depth chart of 2nd-string cornerback because he was so fast. But myself, Robert Bailey, and we continued to work, and we worked our way up from 4th-string DB to 2nd-string. They was able to move Randall to wide receiver because they felt like he would impact this team better at wide receiver with his speed than he would at defensive back because they felt like we were switchy and had hips and good footwork to play early. And me and Bailey played special teams and played nickelback. So,
but what about when you almost made me quit? when you jamming me into the fence and you were taking advantage of me because I was in the 3-point stand. What about that? Talk about that. When I would go home every day.
Hey, Roland, how hard is it to knock a 165-pound guy into a fence? It's not so hard.
Roland was such a good guy. He would say, "Man, Fats, you gonna get better, bro. You gonna get better." I'm like, bro, you just jam me into the fence. You don't hurt my feelings. I can't get off the ball. I should probably go back to Gainesville. Nah, you good, Fats. You gonna be all right.
Yeah. That's me, man. I'm always trying to encourage them young guys, man. I just want to see the young Buck had. He came in with a lot of accolades, and he was very talented, But once he got the hang of things, man, he took off, man. Once he got the hang of everything, playing the 3-point stands, and then Coach Erickson came in, he was able to stand up and do a thing. Oh, he thought he was untouchable, man. He took off, man. Hey, you wouldn't have known he was a country boy coming from Gainesville, coming to the city. You thought he was from the city all his life the way he played. And that spunk he had. So man, it all paid off, boss. It all paid off.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, Roland, before we let you go, how's the talent level in Dade County holding up? Dade County's been known for decades as a feeder system for college football.
Yes.
How is it in today's world? Is Dade County still holding its own in terms of talent?
Most definitely. There's still talent around the county, man. Dade and Broward and South Florida, period. You just got to go out and you got to find them. And you got to stop reading these recruiting service pamphlets, man, and come out and recruit the kids and come out and see the kids, and evaluate the kids. That's one thing I respect about Randy a lot of times. He didn't trust he trusts his eyes, you know what I'm saying? I remember I can recall when I was the head coach at Miami Northwestern, I had Romeo Davis, who now is a special team coach at Miami Northwestern now, with a defensive end for me. And he said, Coach, if you send this kid to camp, let me see him stand up, I can let you know if I'm going to recruit this kid. This kid was a 2-star kid, and he took him to camp, and he did real well. He said, Coach, I'm off of that kid. He said, you know what? Keep him at defensive end. Let everybody go in and just think he can't play linebacker. But I'm going to sign that kid. He wound up going to the University of Miami and starting at Miami over a more heralded kid, a kid I loved, Willie Williams, because he was a thinker and he knew how to play, So, and he had a great career, at the University of Miami, because of that. That's how you find good players. You got to trust your eyes, and a lot of guys always go by the recruiting system and always say, who offered this kid?
Yep.
Man,
how many times did you hear that, Roland? Who else offered him?
Man, Coach, if you like this kid, offer him. You be the first to offer him. Don't know nobody else to offer him, Trust your eyes.
He will say that. He definitely will say that. I've heard him say that many times.
Trust your eyes.
Trust your eyes.
Well, one thing I will say though about Manny, I thought did a good job on Wesley Basaint. He was there to see Terrence Lewis, who was the star linebacker at Miami Northwestern, and Terrence came over to play for me his senior year. But when Wesley was a sophomore and we played against Miami Northwestern, he saw the talent in that kid. He said, Coach, who was 17? I said, why? What's up? I said, he's a baby. He said, I like that kid. I'm off that kid. He said, Coach, I came to see this kid, but this kid just as talented as that kid, man. So you can let him know he have an offer. So I tell my kids all the time, man, I say, man, you don't have to wait to become a senior to get offers. I've had plenty of kids in my program to receive offers when they was 9th and 10th grader, from the James Cooks to the, even the kid Ruben Bain right now, who's a sophomore, who's a junior now. He got offers as a sophomore in his freshman year, and he can go anywhere in the country, So you said Big Baby, he had an offer from Miami and from other schools since his 8th grade, when he came over from the park, So I just want to thank, my coaching staff for doing a tremendous job of developing young men, and making sure, and the parents and everybody in the school system at Miami Central for keeping these guys focused, man, because it takes a village to raise these young men. And I think over there at Miami Central, we do a tremendous job. And I wouldn't trade my high school job for any high school job in the country, because I'm doing well there and we're doing well there. And that's why we're having so much success at Miami Central.
Hey, Randall. I mean, I'm talking about Randall. Hey, listen. It's something I want to say to you. Thank you so much, Patty.
Nah, no problem.
And
See, that's what he called me when he come from school.
That's our nickname. That's his nickname. Because he called me Fats. Patty, thank you so much. And
no problem.
Where I'm going, you're going to be like, what? Thank you so much, bro, for not breaking up Lamar Jackson when y'all played him in the playoffs.
Yes,
because, man, I was sweating bullets out there.
Yes,
I said, please don't let this kid get hurt again in Miami Central. And
he was a hell of a high school player.
Oh, man. But he had to play you guys twice in the playoffs.
Yes.
And that last year, I was so nervous because I said, and your kids told me, they said, Coach,
we was not going to let Lamar Jackson beat us.
They said, look, he ain't going to beat us tonight. You might want to tell him he need to get down. And I was sweating bullets out there. Please let him make it through this game. Please let him make it through this game. And thank you so much for not hurting my kid. And he went on to be great. And so I just want to say that to you because I was worried about that game. I said, oh, Lord, he ain't going to make it through this game.
Hey, Lamar, you did a tremendous job of recruiting that kid. He was one of the best high school dual threat quarterbacks in the country. You signed him out of high school, going to the University of Louisville. He had a great career there. And now he's one of the best NFL quarterbacks in the NFL. He's doing a tremendous job. So I'm proud of what we was able to do against that kid when he was in high school. And he's making me proud of what he's doing now and representing South Florida and doing well in the pros. So we're all happy for Lamar. But the Rockets, we can let them beat the Rockets.
Hey, look, and your kids were so respectful too. They say, "Hey, Coach LT, we took it light on him." Hey, Roland, man, thank you so much for being on tonight, man. Good luck to you this weekend. And if I can make it out, if my wife let me make it out, man, I'm gonna send you a text, man. See if you can get me up in that thing. All right.
Okay. All right. Give me a call, Lamar. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Roland. Come back later in the season, man.
Have a good one. Okay.
All right, Pat.
Appreciate you getting.
All right.
Roland Smith. Lamar, we got another visitor in the lobby, but first we got to talk a little bit about all Canes for a moment.
Yeah.
Harry's got tons of new merchandise flowing into that store every day, and tomorrow's game day, and never a better time to go to all Canes. And I know it's been a big part of your activities through the years. And, Harry's
what's the hours? What's the hours? Is it still open? It got to be open game day. I mean, that's you got to go down there and I mean, everything you see these coaches wearing, Harry got it, and I'm putting him out there. But he has it, man. It's like I've been going there for, man, I can't even remember how long. And then when my sister went to school there, my family came through there, and he's always been the same person, a very personable person. It's like family going up in all, but I keep wanting to say all sport, but it's all Canes.
It was all sports.
It was all sport.
Back in the day.
Yeah,
well,
in the day.
So tomorrow at the stadium, they're honoring Howard Schnellenberger, who passed away recently. And this is the shirt that all Canes put together to honor Howard. Nice. And if you go there and you get that shirt, they will donate $5 from the sale of every shirt to the Schnellenberger Foundation. So you also can order that online. And Howard was obviously a big part of the University of Miami, an absolute legend. And so this is the tribute tee that you can get in short and long sleeves at all Canes. And they also got some new Dime Life merchandise in there recently.
Okay.
And they've
Dime Life, that's one of my guys, right?
That's
DJ
Williams.
DJ Williams.
DJ. Okay.
Yes, DJ.
And
I got to get some of that gear.
Get him on the show. Get him on the show. We get some gear.
Oh,
there you go, Lamar.
Talent, Lamar.
Bam. There you
go.
I like that.
All the turnover
man.
Nigga, hey, and when you go down there, tell them that LT sent you, man. Harry would come out from the back. Harry would come out.
Lawrence Taylor got nothing to do with the University of Miami. What do you mean? Tell him LT sent you.
You sound like Lawrence Taylor now. LT told me, and I call him LT. He said, "You're not even in my top 5 LTs."
So all Canes is a Canes fan tradition since 1959. You could go into the store or you could shop at allcanes.com. CaneSport.com. And Harry's always ready to take care of you. And now we got another visitor to the show who looks like he's coming in black and white almost.
I know.
Here he is.
Put the light on, Andre. Put that light on, man.
What's happening?
Andre Brown, my guy.
Hey.
This guy. Listen, this guy.
Talking about jumping up and making catches. Woo!
When I was a freshman, I was a true freshman, and this guy was the most highly recruited wide receiver. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there going, man, they didn't tell me about this guy on the roster. They just talked about other guys, but they never. And I said, how am I going to be able to compete with this guy? Looking at this guy, a physical specimen, I was like, but you know what? He was the nicest guy. He took me on his wing, bomb squad. Andre Brown, man, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, brother.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on the show, bro. Hey, you lucky I got it because I was like, okay, 9:30. I'm in Chicago. I was like, wait a minute, it's 8:30 here. I'm like, okay. I had just dropped my son off from football practice. I'm like, man, I got to do a podcast. What's happening, bro?
My bad, man. I should have said, Easton. My bad. It's my fault.
I figured it out.
Man, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you, man. And you were out of Chicago and you came to the University of Miami as a highly recruited receiver. I mean, how did all that work? I mean, how did you get down here from Chicago?
Man, by the grace of God, bro. I was just doing what I do, man. I'm just, you throw me the ball, I'm gonna catch it, right? And real talk. I had a coach, man, from another school that I played against. His name is Al Scott, rest his soul. We went to camp with them, and I was killing them. So Al Scott started sending my name out to coach, teams. It was my senior year. He was like, man, this guy's finger, y'all need to go check him out.
Right,
man. Every game I had, I don't know how many coaches. I was getting all kind of letters. I made high school All-American in 1 year. Yep. It was crazy. Yep. And when Howard Snellenberger recruited me, I was like, look, I'm going to Miami. Every other school that wanted me to come in, I was like, I don't even want to take a trip. But at that time, we had to take so many recruiting trips. So I went on to a few just to pacify the teams. But my heart was already set, bro.
Wow.
I'm going to Miami. But you know what I hate, Lamar? You know what I hate, Lamar? My recruiting trip was supposed to have been on the night of the national championship game against Nebraska. And for some reason, I got smart. I'm like, well, I don't want to go down there then because I ain't going to be able to kick it. I don't know what was on my mind. Well, I didn't take that trip. So I went the next week. But I went down there, man, and Jerome and Melvin and Lonzo, they showed me so much love, Joe. I was like, I'm going.
Bro, you had those guys as your recruiting hosts?
Man, Jerome scared the shit out of me, dog. You know how you drive, right? You know how you drive, right?
Yeah.
He drive like a nut. Man, you had me so scared in the back of that car. But I had so much fun. I'm like, these brothers are down. I want to be part of this. And, man, I came down there. And, everybody showed, even though we were competing against each other, even Mike, me and Mike came in together. Mike tell me all the time, he like, man, the only reason I came because of you. They're like, yeah, high school All-American, I'm coming. I like, dude, I was going down there for the palm trees and the lights down there. And once I got down there, we had no animosity. Lamar, me and Mike, is my man.
Yep.
We kick it all the time. Mike come in town, he called me, like, Dre, I'm in town. That's all you got to say. I'm on my way. What we doing? But yeah, man, I loved it down there in Coral Gables, man. I actually, my first day of practice, I wanted to quit. It was so hard. My mother was still there. I was like, man, I don't think I want to do this.
I think we all made that call.
Man,
it was a day awakening. Like when you get down there and you're like, there's no way I can make it here. I'm looking at you and I'm seeing you out there and I'm like, man, this dude is so big. It's such a great physical specimen. I'm looking at myself going, I'm about 165, about 6'1", and this dude like he looking 6'5". He looking the part. And I'm like, how the hell do I develop into that? And knowing I ain't like the weight room, I said, there ain't no way. But the fact was, you just told me, "Hey, young buck, keep making plays." That's all you would say to me. Just keep making
all it's
plays.
about.
You
But
would tell me.
that's all it was about, Lamar. Once I got down there and I watched Eddie Brown and Stanley Shakespeare do their thing, and Kenny Oliver,
Yeah.
the way they ran routes, I'm like, all right, I can run routes and make catches. And then I saw these guys go to the pros. I'm like, all right, I can make it in the NFL. All I gotta do is stay in school, keep working. I'm like, that part is gonna be easy because when I get down here, this is the prototype facility, coaching staff. They get you prepared for the next level. You know,
and the style of offense, and the style of Andre, and the style of offense, Andre, that really was played right into your hands.
It was yeah. Hey, when I went to the Dolphins, I was literally mind blown when I saw the playbook. I looked at the playbook and I said, I got it. We ran the same plays, Lamar. Their playbook was our playbook.
Okay,
I swear to God. It was crazy, man. I was like, okay. I could
Gary Stevens was Gary Stevens offensive coordinator?
Man, me, him, and Dan Marino used to argue every day. Dan could not stand Gary Stevens. He could not stand Gary. They were always, because, you know, Gary pumping Miami. Yeah. And him and Dan used to get into about us all the time. It was funny as hell. I'm like, man. And then, you know, Dan thought he knew it all, and he didn't really want to listen to Gary.
Yeah.
You know how Gary is. He a technician, you know, the mad scientist.
Speaking of Dan, I was recently watching the Hail Mary catch you had from Dan O. Who was that again? It was who was that again?
That was against Jimmy.
Yeah. There was a Hail Mary.
That was against Jimmy. You know how me and Jimmy relationship was, right?
Oh my God.
So for me, that was just the apple. That was the icing on the cake. I was like, I see Mike on the sideline, you know what I'm saying? And when I called that, I saw Jimmy just like, this dude again. And Jimmy, man, we didn't have a good relationship, man. It was crazy.
Nah,
he thought I was a city flicker.
Yep.
And he just didn't have it for me.
He was definitely as a freshman, he would make sure that, hey, you need to not follow him. And I go, shit, I'm gonna follow him because I'm learning stuff from him on and off the field. On and off the field.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, Jimmy, I don't know what it was. I guess because I didn't kiss his ass. You know, I felt like this, man. If I produce and I'm good enough to play me. I don't have to be kissing your ass and all that. You know, that's just not who I am. And then again, like I said, man, once I saw guys going into the league from other teams we would play against, I'm like, I can do this. I can make it. It's on me to stay there.
Right.
So, man.
You know, now, you know, you have a son.
Man.
That's 6'6"?
6'6".
And he had a hell of a game the other day. Where they have 2 catches for 2 touchdowns?
2 touchdowns, 100+ yards, 80 and 20 something. And Lamar,
what year is he now?
He's 13 years old. He just started playing football. My son been wanting to play football from the day he was born. I wouldn't let him. He's a basketball player. I got schools just, man, calling my phone all day long about this kid. He's a talent. And he's going to be something special at wide receiver.
I mean, you obviously, just like all of us, you have dreams of him showing up on the University of Miami campus. Am I correct? I mean, we all had those dreams of grandeur.
Hey, he been wanting to go there because I guess because I played. And, he hang out with me and Mike. Mike come in town. That's my uncle, whatever. But he want to play at Miami. He does. Only thing I got a problem with right now, we ain't playing worse shit, dog.
Yeah.
I don't even know, man.
Don't let them watch.
I'm so disappointed in us, man. I don't know what to say.
I was going to go there and talk about the state of the program, what your thoughts were, but you roll right into it. So I'm going to let you roll right. I'm going to let you go bomb squad on them. Go ahead.
Hey, man, I just don't understand what's going on down there. I mean, the tradition and the everybody that comes back and give to this team, I just don't understand why we're not producing on the field. Why we can't have the same kind of output as we used to have. You know, because people still look at Miami when they see our name, they're like, yeah, that's them boys. But we're not producing, dude. And I don't understand. And I like Manny. You feel me? I met him. I hang out with him when I'm down. I like him. But liking him and watching the team is two different stories.
Two different things, yes.
Yes.
I do not understand it. And we got talent.
Yeah.
But
It's a little embarrassing.
Huh?
It's a little embarrassing.
It's a lot embarrassing. Ain't no little. It's a lot. Because come Mondays, my friends be like, man, what happened to your team?
Oh.
I be like, man, I didn't play on that team. I played when we were dogs. You know who I am, right? You know what I'm saying?
Separate yourself. Separate yourself.
I love and respect my team. I'm a root for them all the time. But I'm like, I didn't play on that. I didn't play in that game.
One of your fellow playing alumni sent this tweet out this week. We can win the ACC. To all the Miami fans, y'all need to show up and support them boys Thursday. I'll be there. Can Miami win the ACC this year?
If they start making some plays, everything is possible, man. I haven't really been able to watch and see what they're actually doing. I've been catching the highlights, but just the fact of we should be better than what we should do better. We got what? We was ranked 14th a couple weeks ago. We was ranked higher than that. And every time we get ranked in the beginning, we start going backwards. We never go forward. What is that? Because they see it, and then we don't step up to the plate. You know, they be like, all right, we're gonna rank them up in the top 10. And next, we keep falling back and back. And somebody posted about the last game. We won 69 or something.
69 to nothing.
I posted on whoever posted. Well, I'm like, I'm not impressed. Look who he was playing.
Yep.
You know, that's. I mean, I think when we played, everybody was going to be a victim. You know, we was going to kick their ass, regardless who they were.
100%.
The bigger the game, the harder we going to play.
You know,
one of our viewers, Dennis Lopez, points out that the 2 losses have come to undefeated teams.
Yeah, but so what?
Amen.
You know, they undefeated. We should be undefeated. But I don't like our offense. I don't like what we're doing right now. I think we trying to be too pretty instead of just playing hard-nosed football, man. You know how we play, Lamar. We play pro style. Ain't no too many gadgets. We're going to go against your man, and we're going to beat you. And, all right, when you went with Erickson, y'all went that spread, but that's cool too. But when we played out the 3-point stance, which was the worst thing in the world for a wide receiver.
Oh, my God.
I hated that.
I don't know how you were so good at it, though. I used to watch you in practice and say, man, this dude is so big and powerful. And you taught me something. I'll never forget this. I asked you, I said, man, the first play of the game, I noticed the DBs are looking all flustered after the next play. You said, man, because the first play of the game, I try to break their arms. I tried to hurt them on the first play.
Lamar, I got jammed so many times coming out that 3-point stance. I knew I had to figure out something. You know what I mean? So I come off that ball, that first play, I come off that bitch and they put their arms out. I try to break their fucking forearms. You ain't gonna keep jamming me. Because, we got our head down and we looking into the quarterback.
Oh, man.
They sneak up on us. They be off us, then they sneak up on us. You come off, you just get chucked. I ain't like that. So I said, me and Mike both, man, we was like, man, look, we just go karate chop until they don't want to put their arms out no more. But then they start giving that short arm.
That was one of the greatest lessons I ever learned from you, because it sets the tempo. First play of the game, we're gonna run the ball, so you might as well get a cheap shot on them. And I just learned that carried over for me. And
I'm teaching my son that now.
Yeah, I went from Bomb Squad to Ruthless Posse, and we renamed it after you left. But we tried to be very physical on that first play, just to give them something to go. damn, these boys gonna play hard today.
Heck yeah. Had to, man. You know. Hey, look, what about this, Lamar? When they call a play, right? We get to the line of scrimmage. Everybody running their hardest to be open. I'm gonna be open. We telling the quarterback right off top, look for me. I'm open. I'm open. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody wanted the ball, man.
Everybody wanted the ball, and y'all basically played 2, maybe 3 at the time, 3 receivers. One of the games I want to talk to you about was your game against Notre Dame.
Oh man,
going back home, I know that had to be something very special for you to be able to shine. I mean, to be able to. I mean, as I watched their 30 for 30, watch our 30 for 30, watch their 30 for 30. And that game always comes up, and to see you shining in that game, I said, man, that dude was from up there. He wanted to do well that game.
And the crazy thing about that game, Lamar, I was hyped. That Tuesday, I pulled my hamstring. And I had worked out before. I get on the field, I'm running a comeback, I pull my ham. They had me in DMSO. You remember that shit?
Yeah, that make your breath stink. Make your breath stink.
Like, dude, they didn't even think I was gonna play. Yeah. So I'm on the sideline, and Randall had missed that one pass. It was 3rd and 17. I went across the middle and dove and caught that pass. Now Jimmy still wasn't starting. Let me go back to this. Why I wasn't starting in the beginning. All right, you know we used to have involuntary practice right in the summer, right?
Voluntary, mandatory,
involuntary.
Yeah.
Where they sit in the cars. So that one particular Friday, I went to the Bahamas. I come back that Monday. I'm downstairs. I'm going to the locker room, and Jimmy coming in with me. Jimmy asks me, "Where was you at Friday?" I said, "Man, I went out of town." He told me, "I will start that freshman and sophomore before you." I told Jimmy, I said, "Coach, do what you got to do." I said, "I know I'm the best receiver you got right now, but you do what you want." And he did. He started Randall and Dale the first 2 games. Every game I came in and made plays. So after I made that catch in that Notre Dame game, Coach Axe came to me. He said, "Look, you don't come out the game till I tell you to come out the game." I started the rest of the year. But that Notre Dame game, man, that was, I'm at the crib. I had a busload of people down there. I was hyped.
Hey, you went to the Bahamas. You had your NIL already, huh?
Hey, know who I went with?
Who?
Papa Bear.
Hey, by the way, guys, this is past the statute of limitations.
Yeah.
Every now and then we got some type of perks down there. Not many, but we got a couple perks every now and then. Just want you to know.
Papa Bear.
This was pre-NIL. This was the start. This was the blueprint for NIL. Matter of fact.
Okay.
Who was it? Was it Melvin that was telling us he went to bar mitzvahs? It was Melvin, right?
Melvin, yes.
Yeah, Melvin was going to bar mitzvahs. I was going to the Miami Nights and Rolex and a couple other places like that. But we don't have to mention those names.
That was regular.
But man, hey man, that Notre Dame game though, when I think of you, you showed out that game. Like it was definitely a game that because we all know, and we talked about this as players a lot. Those big games, you show up, there's a good chance. Matter of fact, there's 120% chance pro scouts going to be watching. They're going to be watching the Long Beach States. They're going to be watching the good competition. And the better you do against those really, really good teams, the better your chances are of somebody seeing you.
Yeah, in that game, like I said, I was hurt the whole game. Lamar, I couldn't even run. But
wow,
I was desperate. I just wanted to make plays, man. I always been, if you throw it to me, I'm going to do the best I can to catch. If I got to lay out, whatever it is, I'm going to catch that ball. If I touch it, I'm going to catch it.
Yeah.
You
did. You
did. And you know had to fight.
Yes. But one of the most impressive things, I don't even think you wore gloves. You was butt naked back then. You were butt naked.
Yeah, no doubt.
You were butt naked. You had them big old hands, so I had to use them gloves, man. I had to cheat a little bit, but y'all boys was out there butt naked with the bomb squad, hanging out the back of the towel, out the butt. you know, we ain't wear no butt pads. We were supposed to, but you had the bomb squad. I was like, man, I want to be like him. That was it was very impressive. Huh?
I said we were sexy.
Did you say sexy?
I said we were. Our receiver squad was sexy. We all had our spots. We all was that type of dude. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I was a true freshman.
Basically made it to the NFL, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Everybody in that squad, only person who wasn't Kentai and Percy Wilson, and he should have made it, and Kenny Oliver. But pretty much everybody that came to that receiver room under Coach Axe, excuse me, we got a chance in the league.
Hey, by the way, speaking of Coach Axe told me when I got up in 135 for the first time as a freshman, you was in the weight room too. And I couldn't get that shit off my chest. He said, boy, you gonna have problems playing here. I said, well, damn, man, what the fuck, man? He said, boy, you better look at Dre over there. I said, and I looked over, I saw you with your shirt all cut up. I said, maybe I need to go somewhere else. God damn.
Hey, you know, Coach Axe was my man, right?
Yeah, yep.
When Coach Axe died, I had just went down there to see him. Mm-hmm. I was in the airport, and I ran into his son Brad. He died after I left.
Wow.
I flew down there just to see him because they told me he wasn't doing good. So I went down there, and we started calling players, and he was doing good that day. And he died that day while I was at the airport. I was so upset.
And for you viewers, for you viewers, that's Hubbard Alexander. He was our wide receiver coach at the University of Miami. Went on to coach in Dallas and Minnesota. He coached some really from the Hurricanes to Dallas to
Randy
Minnesota.
Moss.
He coached some really, really good receivers. Man, it was just a pleasure to just listen to his knowledge about the game and just the way he, you know, you carry something. Myself in coaching, you carry some things over from each coach you have that meant something in your life. Like the one thing I loved about Coach Axe, he had style. Whatever it was, he had style. He'd carry around his little attaché, little. I don't know what was in that little thing, but he had that. You know, he was just so smooth about what he was doing. So you know, I tried to be smooth like Coach Axe because that's what I saw. You know,
and he kept it real.
He kept it real, 100%. He gonna tell you what's on his mind, and it's gonna be the truth. He's not gonna lie.
Look, Coach Axe, you could go to him and talk to him about anything. And he'd be like, you know, look, you know, this is this, whatever. I went to Coach Axe on the numerous of incidents, and he was like, I'll take care of it. You understand?
He had that deep voice just like that too.
Right. He took care of his players. He knew Jimmy and I didn't get along.
Right.
Well, I didn't get along with him, but he just didn't like me, whatever. But Coach Axe was that intermediate that was like, look, I got you. I'm going to speak up on your behalf. You do your part. I'll deal with Jimmy. And that's how that Notre Dame game went down. He was like, look, dude, you just stay in the game till I tell you to come out. I deal with Jimmy. And that's how it was. So I love Coach Axe for life.
Wow.
Great coach.
Yeah, everybody loved him. Everybody loved him.
Really good stuff.
Look, Lamar, what about we had a meeting and he have his feet up on the desk and he be knocked out and then he'll wake up and ask us, what was that? we on the floor sleeping. He got the controller in his hand. He knocked out. And he gonna try to test us. What you do on that?
What y'all had on that? Oh, shit, man. I'm a freshman. Shit, I ain't playing. I'm going back to the room. I'm watching the rest of these guys. Like I'm watching everybody else sleep.
Right?
Damn,
he knocked out. Hey, that dude was funny as hell, man. But he was a really good coach. I love him to death. I think the best move I ever made was coming to Miami.
Wow.
Really. I could have went anywhere I wanted. I went to Miami, and I got down there, and I realized what football was. Because coming from Chicago, we play street football. Chicago, mostly basketball.
Right.
When I got down there, I saw how hungry these guys were and how serious they were about football. It made me have to change my mindset. I'm like, okay, I was good in Chicago, but I ain't as good as some of these dudes down here. Yeah, I got the accolades, but I'm like Brett Perriman. You understand me?
Figure it out.
Dude, 5'9", got arms down past his knees, run a 4.3, bench over 400 pounds, squat over fucking specimen.
Yep.
That was my roommate.
Making acrobatic catches. He made a lot of acrobatic catches, Brett Perriman.
Y'all had Greg on, right? Greg Marks?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my roommate when he first came to Miami, him and Jason Hicks.
Wow.
You know? But the guys that I was in the room with, man, we had some specimens, man. We had some players that was like, I was intimidated. They was looking at me. I was looking at them like, man, dude, I got to work. You know, but my favorite receiver was Eddie Brown. I took a lot out of Eddie Brown. I watched him. I watched him run routes. I became a route runner between him and Kenny Oliver. I'm like, I might not be as fast as some of these guys, but I can run some routes.
Yeah. I think we all came into the whole thing not knowing. And then when we got there, we picked out certain people that we tried to emulate or learn from. Like, I tried to follow, and I watched you and Dale and Randall and all these guys, man. I just tried to pick out certain things that I said, okay, I can do that. You know, I'm not as fast as a certain guy, so I got to look at this guy, or I'm not as good at something else. And you just try to figure things out because you got to find your own niche. You got to find what separates you from everybody else.
Exactly. You know, Lamar, the thing about you was you were so energetic and excited about every goddamn thing. This motherfucker was all over the place. I used to be like, damn, look, you'll score a touchdown. You'll make a catch. You want to take your helmet off, throw your hands up in the air. I'm like,
and look, and they ain't even see practice. Hey, they ain't even see practice because I was just watching practice.
Hey, what about scout team? Scout team was, if our defense could not have been good, because scout team was something else. You know what I mean? Everybody was making plays. Everybody wanted to be, throw me the ball and be open. We gave them work, man.
Man, I just know
to play there.
I just know as a freshman and to go on the scout team and to be able to make plays against the #1 defense in the country, the sky was the limit for me. That's what, and I'm sure that's what you looked at too. Like, and when you're able to make plays against the best defense in the country every day, and they know what you're running because they seen the cards,
right?
And you still making plays. Oh man, I mean, it was like I can't wait till I get a chance to play. I can't wait.
But you know, this is what I got to say. The one thing about our teams from the times I was there wasn't no whole bunch of animosity about who the man is, because we all thought we were the man. Yeah. And as a collective, we played that way. Wasn't no hating on, okay, I ain't starting like me. Mike started, and I ain't starting. Man, I didn't give Mike, do your thing. When they put me in, I'm going to make a play, and I'm going to keep it moving. We wasn't hating on each other, man. We was loving on each other. We hung out. We kicked it. We was one big family, and that's what I think made us such a good team. You know what I'm saying? Because wasn't nobody hanging behind somebody else's back saying, damn, you know, what can I do to make him not play or whatever, any kind of little bullshit animosity. We loved on each other. And that's why I love my team to this day, because we loved each other. I don't know how these teams are now that's playing after us. I don't know what kind of love they got for each other. I don't know if they got infighting or they got jealousies going on. But we wasn't trying to sabotage nobody. We was pulling each other up. Man, do your thing.
I tell you this, man. We really enjoyed you being on the show tonight, man. And, you know, listen, we're going to do whatever we can to get that 6'6". What's his name? We're going to say his name tonight. I don't even know the names of UM players, but I need to know his name.
His name is Stephen Andre Brown.
Stephen Andre Brown. I need to send it something to one of my good friends on staff, the recruiting coordinator, Stephen Fields, and tell him, hey man, we got Stephen Andre Brown up there. You need to look at him, dog.
What year is he?
He's 13 in 8th grade. They recruit. I got 4 teams coming up, 4 high school teams coming up Saturday to watch him.
Wow.
They have him.
He's going to be a physical specimen, and we could get Miami on him right now. I mean, you know, they're going to have to do it on the down low, but we can get him on it right now so we start this thing off. So,
well, I bring him down, Lamar, for the spring games.
Yeah, well, you need to bring him to the Paradise Camp. I guess.
Yeah, the camp. You got to get him to camp. Yes.
Get in the Paradise
Camp.
He
can go next year. He can go next year. He'll be a freshman.
Yeah, there you go. We get him into
that,
that,
dog. Year, he'll be a freshman.
Yeah, and you know what? It'll just be him getting to learn how he needs to compete. That's what it's all about. And as a young buck, and he'll be okay. But
he's starting to figure that out. Because I, in the basketball realm, you know, just playing here in the city, you know, people see him, they were like, man. But I took him to Orlando earlier this year and let him play, and they were like, man, who is this kid? You know, and he was 12 then.
Hey, LT, we got a Virginia invader here. Look at this.
Ooh, what?
Look at this. Where'd he go? Oh, he left. he fled.
Well, listen, Dre, man, we appreciate having you on the show, man. We're going to do this again, all right, bro?
Appreciate it, bro.
And, you know, we're going to try to get that son pumped up, all right? He coming to Miami.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
All right, much love, Bomb Squad. Love you, man.
All right, Bomb Squad.
All right, Bomb Squad.
Love, bro.
All right.
Good seeing you again, Andre.
Take care, Andre.
Have a good one.
Be safe, buddy. Okay.
Right.
Wow. Boy, Lamar, he is something else. I don't remember him being this funny and this animated.
Well, let me tell you something, man. I you know, as a freshman, man, I got to see him up close, and he was everything. You take certain things from each guy that as when you're a freshman, and I was one of those guys that soaked everything up. So I was sitting there trying to decide what to take from each guy, and he was one of those guys that said, man, I want to be like that dude, man. He was dominant, you know. He was very dominant, and he practiced so hard, man. He just went at it. He went every day, and as a freshman, you see that, and you go, okay, I see this other guy, and I see this guy. This guy's practicing hard. This guy, I want to be like that guy. And you saw it pay off on the field. And obviously, he went. You know, he had a couple years with the Dolphins and everything, and there's a reason why, because he worked his ass off. Even, you know, a highly recruited guy out of Chicago who had to learn that sometimes those highly recruiting things don't really matter. You guys still get in there and prove it. And that's where we are today with a lot of these kids. I don't think they understand. You got to get in there and prove it, dog. You might be 5-star, but you can only go so far.
He might have been the most physical wide receiver we've had at this school. He was very violent.
He's very physical, and he was just a big old dude.
Those jump balls were like, it was a joke. He was like taking candy from a baby with him.
Yep. What happened to the Virginia guy? We had a Virginia guy.
He popped in and popped out. I don't know. He got stage fright, I think.
He got scared. He was scared I was going to talk about him.
So as we start to wind this down for tonight, let's shift gears back to the game tomorrow. Lamar, how big of a moment is this for Miami?
Huge. I mean, it's on national TV. You know, anytime you get to play on a Thursday night, those are big games. It's the only game on TV. And so you get an opportunity to show what you can and cannot do against another team that they're on the same plane. They're trying to get this win too. They have to get this win, just like Miami. They're looking at this as a must-win situation. This is a big game. It might be early in the season, but it's a big game for both programs as far as what the Coastal has to offer.
Look who's he's back, Lamar.
I'm gonna see. Oh, is that Terry Kirby?
Well, it says his name. It says his name. Let's see.
He's on mute. Terry, you on mute. Unmute yourself.
And he's in Space Mountain. You can't see him.
Well, listen, I can say what I want to about him now since he's on mute. Hey, man, this dude. Oh, now he's unmuted. No, I'm not gonna say what I want.
LT.
Yes, Terry.
Something wrong with that. Hold on. Let me get the audio. Something's wrong.
You're good.
We hear you. We hear you,
dog. Now.
We hear you. Can you hear us? And he hung up again.
Gone again.
See, that's that. See, Virginia, they're supposed to be smart guys. I question that.
They're not tech savvy.
I question that. I mean, it was a really, really good school, but I question that. You know, I've been questioning that for a long time. And when they beat us in the Orange Bowl, the last game actually in the Orange Bowl.
Oh my God!
48-0. That was horrible.
My stomach hurt right now. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up. Oh man, that was hard, man. That was one of the worst losses. that was bad, man. For me and my wife, that was our first date. I brought her to. I invited her to that game. That was awful. What do you want, Terry? Why are you?
Oh yeah. You know, hey, matter of fact, I just left the team right now, and I just gave them a nice little pep talk, just so you know, buddy. I just need you to know that. And I want my 21s after tomorrow night.
So, okay, this is Terry Kirby for you UM fans that don't understand. He went to the University of Virginia. He's really, and he played basketball too. He's really smart. And he has never let me forget.
Oh, you talking about the Orange Bowl loss? Oh yeah, I just letting you know.
The ass whooping that we took in the last game in the Orange Bowl, and they shortly tore that shit down after that. So he has not let me forget that, and he's been a good friend of mine for a long time. We got to play in a couple All-Star games together, and you know, I was not sure of Virginia guys. I thought they were smart beyond their recognition or whatever, but he let me know that there's some Virginia guys that are really just dumb guys like myself, and you know, he's just a natural guy, and we hit it off, man. We had so much fun at the East-West Shrine and the Hula Bowl, hanging with this guy, man. Terry, thank you for coming on the show, man.
No,
thank you for coming on the show.
LT. Hey, welcome back to South Florida, young guy.
Thank you so much. And you are still loved, by the way, by a lot of Dolphin fans. I mean, they loved you down here. You know, unfortunately, you and Jimmy didn't see eye to eye, and you have three eyes, but you guys didn't see eye to eye, and you went somewhere else, and you actually prolonged your career, and you did great things wherever you. That 42 was that 42. When I think of 42, your name is up there, dog. Your name is up there.
I appreciate you.
You up there with some very. It's a lot of great 42s up there, and you up there. You know, just like Lawrence Taylor said, I'm not in the top 5 of the LTs, but you are definitely in the top 5 of the LTs.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Hey man, I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you doing what you love to do, baby. Behind that mic, man. That's what you love to do. That's what you love to do.
You got it, Terry. Talk. He likes to talk.
He loves to talk, 100%.
Hey, Terry, so you spoke to the team, man? You got them fired up?
I wish I did. Normally I have, but tonight, I was out with the alumni. We got a few alumni. Hey, listen, it is what it is. Tomorrow night is a toss-up.
Is that what you call it, a toss-up? Well, y'all been calling our ass for so long.
Hey, I'm calling it a toss-up. But you know me, I still want my money.
Yeah, we have a little gentleman's wager, you know, so I told him if Miami were to lose, which I don't expect them to lose it, well, you know, we bet $20, and I said I will pay you $1 every time I see you. So if that were to happen, but the question I have for you, Terry, about the University of Virginia, are those guys in study hall right now?
Well, I'm sure they brought their books with them. I'm sure they brought their books with them.
Of course they did.
I mean, I didn't know. Do you know what study hall is?
I found out about the library after I left. By the way,
hey, listen, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. Hey, UM is a great academic school. I mean, it doesn't compare to Virginia, but let me tell you, there's a lot of smart people besides LT that came out of University of Miami. Just so you guys know.
Name one.
Don't put me with those guys. I don't want to mess up their mojo. Shit, they got good jobs. You put me with them. Shit. I mean, I've always put you with all the smart guys. You know, hey, you know, you went to Virginia. It's known as the Cavaliers, smart program, and you played basketball under was it Terry Donahue? No, what
Terry
was
Donahue.
it?
Hell no, Terry Holland.
Terry Holland.
Yeah, Terry Holland. I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Great coach. What was that like, man?
Well, it was tough for me playing two sports. It was
Right.
It's one of those
I
things
did it too, but not as good as you. But okay, go ahead.
What other sport did you play? Field
I
hockey?
played basketball too.
He did.
Yeah, and I ran track. I was the Big East high jump coach. So I played 3 sports, son. 3.
What? Hey,
Son.
you know what? Now I know why we got along. And now I know why we got along. Now I get it. But no, it was tough. You know what? Hey, it was very tough. But it was one of those things that when I came out of high school, being the number 1 recruit, it was one of those things I wanted to do. And I would have loved to come to UM, but the problem was it was just too far from home for me. So
and we didn't recruit you. I understand. We didn't recruit you. It's all good. But go ahead.
LT, everybody recruited me, just so you know. Hey, I was the number 1 recruit in the country. So
I know, bro. I saw you. I saw you on Street and Smith. I saw you on the freaking magazines. Yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad.
I'll give you guys a story. Did LT tell you guys how we actually met?
No.
So we actually met. We were at an East-West Shrine game. So it was LT, Michael Barrows, Jesse Armstead, Ryan McNeil. Was Gino there too?
Yes, he was there.
And Gino. We were all at the East-West Shrine game. And on their bus, when they were at UM, they do this thing called a car wash. So what happens is you sit in the middle of the bus, and when guys walk through, you got to just start punching them as they're walking down the whole time, like they're running through a car wash. So
you got to get a clap.
You start doing the clap, and that's how we all met. And let me tell you, it was actually best friends from that day on, man. We had such a good time. It was such a bond for me because, coming from Virginia, living in Virginia, and not knowing anyone outside of Virginia, playing against these guys, and then seeing what it was like, at UM, and then actually being drafted by Miami.
Yeah.
It became, that was actually my first experience of anything from Miami, meeting these guys. So let me tell you, I commend them. Thank you, for kind of introducing me to the Miami world.
Yeah. Hey, Terry, by the way, one of the questions is, were you coming down for the celebration of life for Don Shula? He's not coming down. He's already here. And yes, he will be at the celebration. Terry is one of those guys that played for Coach Shula. You were drafted by Coach Shula. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And,
yes, sir.
Coach Shula, man, what a great guy. Great guy.
Listen, you can't even, Lamar, I'm sad you didn't get a chance to play for him, but let me tell you something. With Coach Shula, he was, I was very blessed that I had Coach Shula draft me, and then I went to Coach Seifert out in San Francisco. I had one of the pioneers of the game of football, and I was very blessed to be able to have that. And Coach Shula, being him drafting me and taking a chance on me, and, I'm just so happy to be involved in that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't get to play for Coach Shula, but I got to go to pre-draft with him. And that's probably why they drafted O.J. McDuffie, because he kept asking me, hey, what about this after catch celebration? And I'm just happy to catch the ball. Hey, we're looking for a punt returner receiver. I said, well, shit, that ain't me.
that definitely ain't you.
No, that ain't me, man. So, hey, man, listen. It's a big game for both of us. And, give me your prediction. I just want to hear your prediction. Honestly, before we let you go.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, man. I think it's going to be like I think it's going to be like 35-40 somewhere. I think it's going to be. I think both teams, with our team, we're not running the ball, so we're going to throw the shit out of the ball like 60 times.
Right. Good quarterback. Good quarterback, by the way.
Great quarterback. I think we're going to throw the ball, which I'm okay with. But I just think we're going to leave too much time on the clock. You guys got a great running game. We may eat up the clock. So I'm looking at, somewhere in the 30s and 40s, man. I think it's going to be one of those high scoring games. I'm thinking.
Who wins?
Come on, man. I can't. Virginia's going to win.
What are y'all, the Yahoos?
Wahoos, man.
Oh, my bad. I thought
Wow.
that was that freaking drink you drank, the Yahoo.
Nah, we're a fish. We're a fish. It's a wahoo.
My bad, bro.
How'd they forget they're supposed to run the ball?
Hey, you know what happens? And even in the other day, the problem that I have, listen, when you pass the ball that much, you're leaving way too much time on the clock.
Yep.
And people that don't understand football don't realize that. So you run the ball 10 times and you pass it 60. You know how many minutes you're leaving on the clock?
Yep.
That's a lot of minutes
That's
left
a lot
on the
of
clock.
time, bro.
That's a lot of time.
Defense isn't playing well.
Yeah.
And your defense ain't playing well. Not a chance in hell you have. And that's the thing about UM. Their running game is strong. They got a nice running game. And our defense is not great. So, that's why I'm thinking high scoring game.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think a high scoring game.
Is your D tackle who got hurt last week, is he out?
What's that?
The D tackle that got hurt last week against
He don't know. He's in study hall. That kid don't know. He's in study hall right now.
Well, I think, I'm not sure if they said it yet, though. Okay. I'm not sure if they said it yet.
He's in study hall right now. He's taking a damn.
King is out, right? King is out.
Yeah, he's not playing tomorrow.
Yeah, he's not.
Oh yeah, we got a chance.
Hey, by the way, I didn't really want to say this. I called y'all the Yahoos. It's the Yoo-hoos.
Yeah,
that's what I really was trying to say. hey, TK. What?
Hey, I'm just letting you know. I think when they replace your hip, they mess with your brain.
Hey man, hey dog, I love you, bro. We gonna link up this weekend at
all right, brother. I see you guys.
All right, man. Thank you for coming on, man. Much love, dog.
All right,
be safe, buddy. It's all about the U. Don't forget that.
You cut my guy off.
No, I got that.
Hey, all about the UVA, you mean, right?
Yeah, UVA.
Okay, cut his ass off. Why the fuck you brought him back for that? Cut him off. Bye. You brought him back for that shit. I had a good part in line with the Yoo-hoo. That was good. The Yoo-hoo. That's a chocolate drink or something.
Yeah, it's Yogi Berra's drink.
Yeah. So, but then you brought him back for the freaking. Now he's gonna always bring that up. I got you.
No, you didn't.
So we got to win this game, bro.
So he made a good point. I thought he made a good point. Jalen Knighton is back for tomorrow's game, and that could be a big deal for Miami. Rhett Lashley abandoned the running game against Michigan.
We got to be able to run the ball. Yeah. We got to be able to run the ball.
And Knighton's going to be in the passing game. I think he's going to be in the flat, maybe some wheel routes. I think Knighton may be just as important in the passing game.
But you think about this. Every time we've won, we've had good rushing yard average.
Right.
When we've lost, we haven't. We've had like averaging 1 yard to carry. That's not going to cut it.
Well, I think they play a 3-4, and I'm pretty sure that D tackle is not playing tomorrow. They're banged up.
Good.
I think we should be able to run the ball on them tomorrow.
I don't wish nobody to be hurt, but we need all the help we can get.
No, he was a stud for their D line. He got knocked out last week, so I don't know.
Bad. I'm sorry. Take a week off. Take a week off, bro.
All right, you guys do your thing, and I'll see you guys after. We'll talk after tomorrow.
All right, Bruce. Thanks for being part of it.
Buddy.
All right, LT, let's take this thing home with a little word association.
All right, what we got?
Brennan Armstrong.
Ooh, the quarterback, UVA, probably smart. Probably real smart. I mean, they've had 6 400-yard games in the history of the program at UVA. He's had 3 of them.
That's amazing.
He's a good quarterback. He's what he's done over the last couple of weeks. He's had a couple of times where 9 receivers, he spread the ball around. Mm-hmm. So he's definitely going to be a threat that we're going to have to deal with in this game because, he has some actually really, really good receivers that are very consistent. And, man, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I don't want no kid to do bad, but We need him not to play well.
You know, it's weird as heck. When we played him last year, they had this gimmicky offense. It was like a hodgepodge offense. He's running the ball half the time.
They had some dude in there wearing 90-something.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Yeah. Now here we are a year later. They're throwing for 400 yards a game. I don't understand how they made this transformation, but they did it. You know?
Well, it comes with experience. Now he has some experience, and he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. So we're going to have to – he's going to be a big key to us winning the game on tomorrow.
All right, how about Will Mallory?
Oh, we need old Will to show up, man. We need Will Mallory to show up. I mean, you think about coming into this year, we said this is going to be the guy because we had Brendan Jordan, number 9, and we had those 2 tight ends, and he shined, and just like they both shined together. It's your time, Will. I mean, Stephen Field is the tight ends coach. I know he's going to get this guy right. We need you to show up. We can't have drops. We need you to be the quarterback's best friend, make some plays, take some pressure off the quarterback. Once you throw it to the tight end a couple of times, they start condensing on that. It opens up the outside. So we need Will Mallory to step up. This is a game that you got to step up, buddy.
I think he's been pressing a little bit. He just hasn't looked great.
It can happen.
It can have a big year.
Yep. It can happen. All
right, Ricky Brumfield.
My main man. So Ricky Brumfield is the special teams coordinator at UVA. Great coach. He was at WKU with me. And Petrino, because Ricky stood up for himself, decided he was going to leave Ricky behind. Ricky has outshined. He's been at UVA for a long time, been a great special teams coach. He might have been left at West Kentucky, but he made up for it. Great guy, and he's a very smart guy, and I'm pretty sure that he's going to have some things on board for the University of Miami tomorrow. I love the guy. He's a great coach, and the kids love playing for him. So it's gonna be interesting to watch. He got a little trickery up his sleeve now. He's very knowledgeable. So if it comes down to special teams, I'm gonna give him a guy. I got to give him the edge now. So we don't want it to come down to special teams.
All right, and take us home with Manny Diaz.
I love looking into the camera saying, Manny, this is big. This is huge. You got a chance to win the Coastal, bro. As much as the fans have been on your ass, you still have a chance to win the Coastal. We need you to bring this through tomorrow, bro. This is big for you and your future here at the University of Miami. You say what you want. Everybody can say what they want, but we need a win. We need a win against Virginia because it only gets tougher as it goes on, but it starts right here. You got the win against Central Connecticut State. That don't count. Starts right here, dog. Manny, we need you. Should I text you? I'll text you because, I got his number. I'll text you. But I don't think I need to text you on this. You know how big this is. Come on, Manny. Let's bring this home.
All right, LT. Well, it's good. It is a big one, man. It's a big one for Miami. It's a big one for Manny. And hopefully they play well tomorrow night. Sometimes I think it seems like people, really everybody is being a little hard on them and stuff. But, man, they've lost 4 straight games to real teams. And it's not like things were going great before that. It's like there's a standard that people expect, and they haven't come close to it. So, it starts tomorrow night. It's huge. People need to get out to the stadium. Give yourself – I've been telling the fans this all week, Lamar – get some enjoyment out of football season. Stop pouting. Get out to the game. Tomorrow night's going to be a very exciting game. Get on out there and just give yourself some enjoyment cheering for the Hurricanes.
Hey, and listen, I got some quick shout-outs real quick. Crowded. It will change your life. The app will change your life. That's my app right there. I got my man from Ocala. His daddy was my little league quarterback.
Max?
No, not Max. Max was crowded. But my one of my guys, Tyree, his daddy was my little league quarterback. And we got the ring. Remember the guy that kept coming on saying he was a ring watcher? I figured out what it was. He was watching my rings in Atlanta when I put them on the table. So give a shout out to him. So, hey, man, I got and we got people in Kentucky watching too. It's a big game, Kentucky, Florida, this weekend. It's gonna be a big one. It's gonna be a big game. You talk about big game, that's gonna be a big game. So it's gonna be a big weekend, good sports weekend. It starts actually with the University of Miami on Thursday night, hopefully defeating the Virginia Yoo-hoos or Yahoos or Wahoos or whatever the hell they are.
All right, LT. Well, let's give a thanks to all Canes.
Yes,
get down there,
all
get yourself
Canes,
that Howard Schnellenberger tribute shirt. $5 from the sale of that will go to the Schnellenberger Foundation. Allcanes.com if you can't make it down there in person. We want to thank
Bo Campers.
Bo Campers Sports Bar and Grill and Plantation for feeding Lamar and hosting them and giving them that beautiful background. How many dang chicken wings did they give you?
Hey,
You've
man,
been eating those things the entire show.
I've been tearing them up too, dog.
All right, guys. Tomorrow night, Hard Rock Stadium. Be there or be square. And we'll be back next Wednesday night to talk about it with some more special guests. So for LT, Bruce Warner, I'm Gary Ferman. Thank you for joining us on the Lamar Thomas Show. We'll see you next week, everybody.
Go Canes!